Victory Monday for the 13th time in the 2024 season. Washington is on to Motown City after a 23 to 20 magical wild card victory on the road where Jayden Daniels once again shows the world just how elite he is already. This is Rambling About Washington. Let's go. What's going on, Washington Commanders Nation? Turn up. It is Monday, January 13th, and we have advanced to the next stage of the 2024 NFL playoffs after a momentous victory yesterday. Yeah, my boy, you was extra turned up yesterday, my guy. You was not saying shit in them chats, but I love it. I love the energy. I hope everybody has their heads held high, chest out, and we're ready for another week of football. Holy shit. Let's go, my boy Jern. I might swerve and bend that corner. Whoa, whoa. Talk to us nicely on this Monday afternoon. They had that Jello ball playing in the locker room post game yesterday. But how are y'all feeling? I streamed to about 3 a.m. last night. Longest stream I've ever had, 8 hours. If we pull it off in Detroit next week, I will go until the sun comes up. I promise you, I'm not exaggerating this time. But we went for 8 hours. I started pulling friends on stream, all that good stuff yesterday, you know? Oh, man, it feels good to be here, man. How are y'all doing today, man? Let me see how y'all doing in the chat, man. We were lit. We were turned up. Don't let nobody take it from us, man. We need to start Chris Rodriguez. Yeah, man. Our run game is non-existent, but it is what it is. Let's go, y'all. Talk to them, Joe. To those who don't realize that we deserve to be here, we do. JD5 is him, and we've got a chance this week, too. We have a chance every time we lace up our cleats because number 5 is one of those ones. He's already done what guys like Justin Herbert, Kyler Murray, Tua Tagovailoa have not done in their career yet. He already has a playoff victory, and he just got here, man. We're talking about guys who've seen their whole rookie contract already play out, already been paid the top bucks with no playoff wins on their belt. My guy already got one, man. We already got one, man. We better pull out all the special plays. Hey, I got it on the screen, but we'll get into the Lions game later, bro. Right now, we're basking in victory. It's Victory Monday, baby. It's Victory Monday, baby. Man, I started on time today. That's how you know your boy's he's in a good mood today. We started on time. No CP time for this one. We in here talking about Washington, Tampa Bay, and our road to the next round of the playoffs. He's ice cold. He's a smooth operator. He has that psychopathic competitiveness about him that the great ones have. The boy didn't even show any emotion when we hit the game-winning field goal. You would have thought he was walking on the field to play overtime. I love it here. I love it here, guys. I love it here. What up, Law? What up, Law? You know, can we take 2 seconds to enjoy beating a team we lost to? But yet, correct. We will get to the Detroit Lions on Wednesday. Today is Victory Monday. Tuesday is Victory Tuesday. You know, me and Lake Lewis got to do our weekly sit down tomorrow morning. We will talk about the fucking Lions on Wednesday and beyond. It's still Monday. I know it's a short week because the game's on Saturday, but can we bask in a damn victory right quick, man? What up? But the kicker has OCD. This man, Zane Gonzalez, is playing with his little weak-ass cowlick, playing with the bottom of his cleat. Like, he kept touching his – I don't know. It's very weird. It's very weird. I would hate to see what we would see if a camera followed Zane Gonzalez around in his normal life. I'm really afraid to see what the cameras would pick up. What up, Nicole? Let's go. Let's fucking go. What up, Dre? What up, Dre? You know, that game yesterday had blend. It had blend. If you know, you know. Holy shit, I'm still feeling good, man. I'm feeling good. Yo, what was the group chat vibe like? Oh, we're talking crazy in the group chat. Oh, we're talking crazy in the group chat right now, man. Shout out to D. Will, Josh, my boy Pascal, Todd. And and Jaylen for joining the stream at 2 a.m. last night. Shout out to those boys for joining the stream at like 2 a.m. off the late night, talking late night Commanders, man. I love to see it. David Brown, DB, what up, what up, what up? Happy Victory Monday, my boy. How we doing? How we do it, man? We did it. It's time for Detroit. What are my thoughts? My thoughts, you will get them on Wednesday and beyond. But all I will say about that game right now is that when 5 is on the field, we have a chance. And we are working out the group chat. I think it's going to be like a retrospective once the season comes to a conclusion. We're all going to get together and do it. It's really hard to get like 7 guys together, but we working on it. We working on it for sure. Appreciate you, Paul. Always holding it down. Been watching every show glaze our quarterback like a Krispy Kreme donut. That I have gained 5,000 pounds and I am one happy fat bastard. Jayden Daniels is him. Boy, are they talking about our quarterback everywhere. Boy, are they talking about loving on and glazing our quarterback into oblivion right now. Colin Cowher, who's been high on Jayden all year, he said he's a better mover than Pat was at this age, and he's a better thrower than Lamar at this age. And it doesn't make any sense how composed this guy is. Oh, man. They're talking about best rookie quarterback ever. Not debating it. Not debating it, man. Yep, we coming for them kneecaps on Saturday. Hey, we're going to get into it. We're going to get into our heroes from yesterday's game, man, because obviously we're going to start with the quarterback. But holy shit, Dyami Brown legacy game. My God, that man said, please keep me on this roster going forward. If you were thinking about letting me walk, Dyami Brown looked like a complete receiver yesterday. 89 yards and a touchdown. Whoa. He went crazy yesterday. Him and Terry McLaurin both went crazy, man. The mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. House money, boys. What up, Austin? We've been waiting for this forever, man. Day one right there. How you doing, Austin? Why not us? It is Victory Monday for the 13th time this season. 13 times. 12 regular season, 1 in the playoffs. Look at us, y'all. Look at us. Look at us. And look how drastically different. Didn't we hire Adam Peters 1 year ago yesterday? I believe it was January 12th, 2024. So 1 year ago yesterday, we're hiring the GM of all GMs, the guy people had been trying to poach away from San Francisco for all these years, who said he would not leave unless a perfect destination opened up. Adam Peters, a lifelong and childhood fan of the San Francisco 49ers, was the number 2 football guy and honestly the brains behind the operation up there in the Bay Area. We hired him a year ago yesterday. 1 year later, we're winning a fucking playoff game on prime time and the only good playoff game of the weekend. Did y'all watch the rest of the slate this weekend? Did y'all see how ass that slate was this weekend? I saw a lot of quarterback play this weekend. I saw another rookie quarterback go out there and piss the bed in his playoff start, but that's to be expected because rookie quarterbacks don't win playoff games on the road. It had been a decade plus, 12 years. It was Russell Wilson beating RG3 in 2012, the last time we saw a rookie quarterback go on the road and win a playoff game. My brother. And guess what? We got right to it. We got right to it right away. 23-20. Outdueled Baker Mayfield on his home turf. And this is not some chump-ass team. This is not some team that doesn't make the playoff. We're talking about a team that's made the playoffs 5 years in a row. We're talking about a team that's won their division 4 years in a row. We're talking about a team that minus 2 or 3 plays beats the Detroit Lions in Detroit last year in the playoff. We're talking about a team that beat the Detroit Lions in the regular season. One of their 2 losses this year was to Tampa Bay. We're talking about a Tampa Bay team that dogged the Eagles, dogged us, dogged the Chargers, and beat the Lions in one regular season. There was nothing chump. There is no way you can try to diminish what Washington put on that tape yesterday, man. Let's fucking go, man. I saw you at the Falcons game, pregame in the Legends Lounge. We fucking lit, bro. What up, man? What's good, man? That was a litty time. I had to pop out for that one. Only game I went to this year. Victory Monday again. And guess what, y'all? We on prime time again next week. I mean, it's the night game on Fox for Saturday night. We are not the openers that day. Kansas City and Houston are. I told you last week, Houston is the ultimate opening act. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. They are never their pièce de résistance on the schedule. They're always the opener. They're opening up, and we're closing Saturday night of divisional weekend. In 1 year, we've went from the worst team in the NFC, well, the second worst team in the NFC, second worst team in the NFL, to one of the best 4 teams in the NFC. Fuck a record. The last 4 teams in the NFC remaining: the Philadelphia Eagles, the Detroit Lions, to be determined, and the Washington Commanders. Top 4 in the conference a year after going 4-13. Talk to us nice. Talk to us nicely, because we don't care if you have anything negative to say right now, man. It only took 19 weeks for Diami to lock in. That training video looks good right now. Diami's running Bama's over. He's getting yards after the catch. He's popping open. Oh, gave a little fun little touch. He a little TikTok dance in the end zone. We love it here, man. I'm at work right now. Went to sleep by 1. I'm still hyped, and my parlay ends today. We're going to see about what happens in this game tonight too, man. Man, Rio is good. No one with 5. We're alive no matter what. That's all I'm going to give anybody about the Detroit game, because while I do have it on the screen, it's just to show you that we're on to the next round. We're not talking about that game yet. Because, oh, man, I picked the Rams to win in total points under. I think the Rams win tonight too. We're going to talk it. Don't let nobody humble you. Don't let nobody rain on our parade. Don't let nobody, y'all are going to get smoked next week. Yeah, because everybody told us we were one and done. They pretty much called us a DEI hire. Y'all are just here and happy to be here. Y'all are just happy to be in the playoff. Y'all are happy to be invited to the party. Y'all are not invited to the dance floor. Talk to us now. Because we are a threat. Because these guys are a close-knit group. This locker room believes in each other, and what the coaches preach is actually taken in by the players. We just watched a regime where there was a disconnect between personnel and the roster for 4 years. In 1 year, the culture has already been established, and guys are already buying in to what the coaches are putting out there, man. Let's go, man. Let's fucking go. I'm sorry, bro. I don't want to hear none of this shit today. The Detroit Lions have never won dick in the history of life. Y'all can miss me with that bullshit, bro. You think I'm going to be afraid of a franchise that's never been to a Super Bowl? Fuck out of here. With a limited quarterback? We'll talk about that game later in the week, though. We're going to talk about that game later in the week. Fuck a Ford. Oh, my God. The vaunted Ford Field. That shit Arrowhead. They got Mahomes in that stadium. They coming off back-to-back Super Bowl. Oh, no, you got to actually appear in a Super Bowl to do so. They ain't won shit. We shouldn't be afraid of dick right now. We shouldn't be afraid of anything right now. We're talking about regular season All-American football teams right now. They're going to have to show me, but we're not there yet. Oh, the vaunted in Ford Field. Oh, my God. It's so cold in Detroit. I'm shaking in my fucking boots right now. I'm not. We're lit right now, boy. We are lit right now, man. This is Jayden fucking Daniels, man. And I'll tell you what. One last anecdote on the Lions game. We get back to business and talk about the game last night. Washington has the better quarterback this Saturday. I'm going to move on from that now, because the best quarterback in the NFC is named Jayden Daniels, bro. I don't care what nobody say, bro. You name the top 4 quarterbacks in the league. We all know them. Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, Jackson. The next fucking name on that list is Jayden Daniels already. He's the coldest and clutchest quarterback in the NFC. Already. Most talented, most in his toolkit, and he's working with a limited arsenal of resources here. He already puts his team on his back. Jared Goff ain't put no fucking team on his back. He's a system quarterback. Sam Darnold is a system journeyman. Baker Mayfield had a good season. Baker Mayfield, not this. Jordan Love, not this. We know Jalen Hurts isn't this. I don't even got to go into that. This guy here is different, bro. We got the ball with 4 minutes and 40 seconds left. Terry McLaurin told the huddle, I need video footage of this because Mitch Tisler mentioned it on the Beltway podcast. Mitch Tisler said, Terry told the offense, we're not fucking giving them the ball back with the F-bomb and everything. I need to hear this. I need to hear Terry McLaurin using profanity because that's my favorite Terry. My favorite Terry is when he's talking shit and he's not being the quietest kept guy. When he turns up and when he starts beating his chest, I love that shit. My quarterback got MVP chance on the road as a rookie quarterback. Who else can say it? Who else can say it? I'm looking back at the top 4 quarterbacks in the league right now. Josh Allen was a science fair experiment in year 1. Lamar Jackson was a run-first, wonky throwing motion, but I lost in the playoff, but I had a good, solid rookie season type quarterback. Mahomes started 1 game in his rookie year, and Joe Burrow tore his ACL, but he was having a mighty fine rookie year. He got hurt versus us. He is so much farther in the learning curve and in his development than all of these guys, bro. The ceiling, there's no ceiling. There's no cap to what this guy can be because he's doing things the best quarterbacks in the league were not doing during their rookie season. So we're going to talk our shit. We're going to glaze. We're going to tell the world because they're just finding out about how good this guy. MVP chance on the road. Bobby Wagner in the locker room getting the GOAT chant. Fire, bro. Fire, bro. Man, let's go, bruh. Let's go. I'm celebrating since last night. Where the fuck Rio at? Why ain't he live, man? Hey, I went live from 6:30 to 3 in the morning yesterday. Just to let y'all know. Longest stream in the history of this channel, man. Zane Gonzalez, bro, that kick scared. That's my soul almost left my body, man. My soul almost left my body, man. Hey, let them talk, man. We'll see them next week, man. We are here right now. Let's talk about this game yesterday. 24 of 35, 268 through the air, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Leading rusher with 36 yards, 304 total yards, no punts, no turnovers in a playoff game. No punts, no turnovers in a playoff game. Do you know how fucking absurd that is? So now, in the history of football, there have been 3 games quarterbacked by a rookie where the offense did not turn it over once and didn't punt once. All 3 belong to this year's Washington Commanders quarterback by Jayden Daniels. Bro, let's go, man. Let's go, man. Talk to us nice. I don't think people realize that that's not normal. There's nothing, no, everybody punts the football. It's a part of the game. Everybody punts the football. It is a part of the game. You know who don't punt the football? Jayden Daniels. Let's go, man. Let's freaking go, bro. Holy shit. No running game whatsoever. Our running backs combined for 37 yards on the day. Brian Robinson with a 1.9 yards a carry clip. Austin Eckler, Austin Eckler's touches mattered, though. And when we threw him the ball, it was much needed. Austin Eckler's touches actually helped us win that game yesterday. For whatever reason, Chris Rodriguez Jr. was inactive. Let's go out to the wide receivers, man. Terry McLaurin, 89 yards and a tutty. 89 yards and a tutty. Could have been more because we had an opportunity early on in the game for another nice deep ball up the right sideline, but it was a good play by the defender knocking it out of Terry's hands. But Terry was everything we needed him to be yesterday. None of that 2 for 17 shit that we did versus the Bucks the first time. Terry was an absolute dog. You know my favorite thing about Terry's game yesterday? He had help. Terry had help in the wide receiver room. De'Ami Brown showed up as a number 2 wide receiver yesterday. A true complete ass wide receiver 2 yesterday. And before we get into De'Ami Brown's performance, let me get this off the screen. We about to bring a guest in the building. My boy Juan Gotti talking sports. What's going on, big dog?
What's up, Rio? How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling Monday right now as a young bull. This is the first Washington playoff game win you've ever seen, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was 2 years old in 2005, so yeah, this is literally the first time I've ever seen us win, and in the fashion that we did it in, man. I mean, of course, cardiac arrest is didn't you can never escape that, but man, I wouldn't have it no way, man. Long as we win, bro. At the end of the
Oh
day.
my God. So this is the first playoff win of your life. Bro, we got the quarterback we've dreamt of our entire freaking life. Is that a Jayden jersey you got on?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Hey, that black 5 on right now, man. Just take me through it. What was your immediate thoughts and what was your immediate feeling after that doinked field goal to win the game yesterday?
Yeah, so I mean, I knew it was a big moment. That whole drive I had on video, I set up my phone, which I'm not gonna lie, as you know, I used to do the live streams, right? And I stopped doing them. But like yesterday, I was like, let me try because I be seeing the TikTok reactions go viral and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And
do
I don't
that.
know, I don't know if some of them are real or whatever. You have those or not.
Oh, yeah, you know the
So
scripted guys. Yeah.
so I tried to be real and authentic. That's hard as heck, bro. You got to catch the good moments, and
Yeah.
some drive stall out, so you wasting minutes. Anyways, I set up the phone for the last drive, and because I knew it was just gonna be crazy. I mean, I knew we were gonna potentially win. I mean, when you're in that spot with Jayden Daniels, it's a sense of comfort already. So I had the phone recording. And when he got away from, was it Yaya Diaby he got away from?
Oh,
Or
Kalijah Cansey at the end.
Elijah Cansey,
Yeah, he like stiff armed him. Yeah.
yeah, he stiff armed it and dove forward for the first down,
Oh
and
my
I
God.
like I just went crazy after that,
Mhm.
and then Zane Gonzalez. It's up on Instagram if you want to check it out, man. I'm watching Zane Gonzalez. He's just doing this. I'm like, bro, there's nothing there, bro. Like, why do you keep doing this with your hair? I understand it's like they said an OCD thing or whatever it is, but like, that just made me ultra nervous. I was calm, cool, but then once they panned the camera to him, he just looked like he was just almost ready to throw up in his mouth, man. And then when he went to kick, bro, that joke started tailing right. I was like, and then I hear the doink. That's not a good sound typically, but then I seen it fall in the corner pocket, man, and I just lost it, man. I was just like, oh my God.
After Jayden got the first down, like I was so psyched, but there was the Washington fan in me that was like, I mean, he still got to make the kick. And my son's like, I saw 37 yards, and I'm looking at him like, fam, do you know this team's like all I'm thinking of is Austin Seibert missing that extra point versus Dallas. And then it hits the upright. My soul leaves my body for a half a second, and then it banks in. You cannot think of a more Washington finish to that game yesterday.
Nah, facts. Definitely can't make it easy. I mean, this whole season long, all these walk-off victories, it's insane. But it also, again, as Dan Quinn has always said, it's been building character, and this team has been ready for this moment all season long. And like I said, I mean, as you said before I came on, and I mean everyone pretty much knows, he's in that same category with Patrick Mahomes as in terms of clutchness already. Like, it's just this, my heart doesn't race as much anymore, like it always used to be when we got the ball last. Like, it's just that sense of comfort of knowing the fact that he's going to get us in field goal range, or he's going to walk it off with a touchdown, man. And Ryan Clark said it best when he said, he was like, on the Atlanta game, he was like, man, once the coin toss went off and Washington got the ball, that was game from there. And that's just what we have now, man. It's our reality.
It's a beautiful feeling, like you just mentioned, like when you play against the Chiefs, it don't matter how they look for the first 3 quarters, because whether it's a 2 possession or a little bit more than that, as long as 15's on that opposite sideline, you're a little uneasy. 5 is already that. He's already that in his rookie year. I was listening to Colin Cowherd earlier, and he pulled this stat on the screen. I had to bring this to the attention of the chat. Jayden Daniels, when tied or trailing in the 4th quarter of overtime this season, including the playoff, 3rd in the NFL in completion percentage, 73.7. Number 1 in touchdown passes, 10 touchdown passes, 119.5. Bro, this is a rookie. He leads the NFL in passer rating and passing touchdowns when trailing in the 4th quarter or overtime, man. This is not something we've ever seen before, man.
Never, man. It's insane of how good he is already. And as a lot of fans, and I'm finally happy a lot of people are starting to say this, like, this is the worst he's gonna be. This is the worst supporting cast he's gonna have, and it's already putting up them stats. And I don't know if you already read off the other stats earlier, but it was something along the lines of he has a better playoff record than Justin Herbert already. And I know they only would have 2 playoff appearances on him, but it's the fashion that they've lost those games,
0-2,
right?
though.
Yeah, like the Jacksonville 27-point blowout loss when they came back, and then obviously Saturday where that game started off really good for them, and so you got that stat, and then let me
4 picks too is nasty.
Yeah, 4 picks is horrible. And here it is right here. I don't know if you already read this one, but it was like crazy stat ever. Commanders rookie quarterback Jayden Daniels has more games in his career when his team has 0 punts or 0 turnovers.
Then like Brady in them, right?
Yeah, more combined than Tom Brady, Joe Montana, Peyton Manning, and Patrick Mahomes.
Oh my
all
God,
combined. Like in the rookie season already is insane. Like it's crazy, man.
Yeah, I'm here for all these curated, advanced analytical stats. Bro, I'm here for all of it when it comes to JD5. Appreciate you, Jack Kennedy, for the $4.99. Who should we target in free agency? Charvarius Ward, Godwin, Mack, Patrick Ricard, Trent Brown. I'm going to save off-season talk for the off-season. I'm locked in right now. Of this list, I think Charvarius Ward could use a fresh start because he's dealt with some traumatic thing. I don't even want to get into it, but his family's gone through a lot over this last year, and he needs a fresh start. Adam Peters could bring his boy on this side, but I'm not ready to have this conversation yet. Bro, the mock draft machine don't even hit the same right now, bro. Have you even popped open a mock draft simulator yet?
No, I have not. It's the new reality is we gonna be picking 24, 25, and we ain't gonna be looking at no mock drafts until February or March even. That's our reality, y'all. Like we can let go of talking about drafts in November, December, October. Leave that to the Giants and the Jets, man. We're on the playoff football.
Yeah, we are on to actual meaningful January football, man. We got the Lions next week, but we're not ready to talk about them yet. I still want to bask in this game yesterday. How about De'Ami Brown, bro?
Yeah, that was insane yesterday what he put up. And earlier on in the morning, I posted on my story, I'm rocking with Deuce today. Before I even had this feeling that he was going to go crazy, I just did it because I'm like, man, well, I want to support a player extra hard this week. I was like, let me go ahead and throw Deuce up on a story. He ended up seeing it. You know what I'm saying? And he ended up having his best game as a pro. So it's just insane how like, I told people a lot, like De'Ami, he has the talent there. For me, it was always he never was given the opportunities consistently, especially with the last regime. And I said I felt like we were kind of wasting his talent and potential this season because we had all the injuries at the wide receiver position, and there really wasn't no clear-cut number 2. I mean, you can say Noah Brown, but there wasn't nobody opposite Terry that was just so far ahead of the pack. So I was kind of feeling at a time that we were wasting his potential. But I think after yesterday's performance, AP already probably writing up that re-sign new contract or whatever, because he's definitely gonna be back in the burgundy and gold next year as probably a top tier number 3. Because I think we're gonna go out and address wide receiver, get a number 2 or 1B or 1A, whatever you want to say, and then Diami's gonna be an elite number 3, man. Especially since he's probably like our only guy outside of Terry that has top end speed. So him in the slide and him as the 3 is gonna be insane moving forward.
Diami is the only receiver in this roster that can run a screen. He knows how to pick his lanes and get upfield in a hurry. I feel like I love Terry. Terry's not a screen receiver. Diami Brown gets upfield. He's trucking Bamas yesterday. He's getting open, doing a little dance in the end zone. I cannot say enough about how proud I am of Diami Brown, because we be kicking his back end as a fan base. We be kicking Diami's back end, and we haven't got much production throughout his rookie contract. But boy, was yesterday a Diami Brown legacy game. I appreciate you, Primetime Henry, for the $20 donation. We could beat Detroit. I agree. We're going to get to that a little bit later in the week. My guy said you need Scatterbo. Oh, Arizona State. Your fan base will see things from this offense you never dreamed to see. Scatterbone in round 1. That's aggressive, but I think I just tweeted this out earlier. Our running back 1 is currently for next year is currently on a college campus as we speak. What were your thoughts on the running game yesterday?
My thoughts on a running game, man, it has been atrocious. I made a video about us potentially, which I know he's probably not gonna be here, but at the time I made the video, I that was like the star back in the college game, and I was really like one of the only guys that I was like, man, he would do wonders. I made an Ashton Gency video before anybody was talking about Washington being mocked to him, etc. Because I just knew, like I said, man, I like B-Rob, because at the time B-Rob was doing his thing at the time, but we just never had that guy that could hit the second level. And then you turn on, funny enough, Detroit, and you see David Montgomery come in, gas you for 6.5, and then Jahmyr Gibbs take it 65 to the. I'm like, come on, man, we need that. And as good as it's happening in Detroit, Jared Goff isn't Jayden Daniels from the standpoint of everything talent-wise, but I'm only saying for the legs part of it. Imagine a backfield with Jayden Daniels' legs and Brian Robinson or whoever, Austin Eckler still on contract if you want to bring him back, and then a speedy back like i.e. Ollie Gordon or Ashton Gency, or there's a couple of other guys.
This is my guy right here. This is my guy right here. Quinshon Judkins out of Ohio State. Bruh. That's my boy right there, man.
You know what's crazy, and I probably shouldn't allow the video game to deteriorate my feelings towards him, but I'm telling you, bro, NCAA hyped him up so much in the summertime, so I was kind of expecting him to play like a video game in real life, which is
because he got to share carries with Travion, but Judkins the one, bro. Judkins at that backfield, Judkins is the one. Sven, give me a breakdown. My boy Sven in the chat. Give me a breakdown of Quinshon Judkins, because that's my fit for this offense, bro. Him on day 2, that's what I'm talking about right there. Don't let the video game shy you away. We need one of those, but I like the names you just mentioned as well. But we're not getting anything from Brian Robinson right now.
No, we're not getting nothing from him. I really don't know what's going on with him. He's running like he's in submit. If you ask me, like his vision doesn't seem to be up to par right now. It's like nothing outside of Jayden Daniels and his legs. Austin Eckler was a godsend yesterday. I mean, how about that? Well, first of all, pass by Jayden Daniels. That catch on that drive by Austin Eckler, man, was insane. B-Rob was solid in the catching game, as receiving game, but as far as a back, man, it's nothing. And then you can't use the excuse of it was Tampa Bay with their good defensive line. He hasn't been doing anything since that Tennessee game where he had that touchdown run, man. Like I really can't explain to you why he's not performing well. Is he banged up? Probably, sure, but I really can't tell you. What do you think? Why do you think B-Rob isn't really performing right now?
I think it's a combination of we're not getting great push up front, and he's just not a very gifted back. Like he's a straight forward running back. He doesn't have much lateral ability. He doesn't have much agility. You know, he has to come with a full head of steam with a wide open hole to make things happen. And he can't create. Like on those plays where we were throwing him the football while he was making do and making some things happen, Austin Eckler is making shit happen on those plays. Like Austin Eckler in space one-on-one, he's going to find a way to break the tackle and find a way to get to the stick. Brian Robinson, he catches it and it takes him a little bit to figure out what he's going to do with it because he's very limited with the ball in his hand. But if you open up a hole for him and get him a full head of steam going into somebody, he's going to do stuff for you. But we won this game without a great performance from the O-line, without a running game. Like Jayden managed to only be sacked once, despite the fact that they were throwing the kitchen sink at him all day. Everything keeps going back to Jayden because this shit is not normal that we're seeing from him, man.
Yeah, it's not normal, and it literally wouldn't be possible without him. That's why every single time we bring up the fact that Washington is so successful right now, it's going back to literally the quarterback number 5. Because if he's not on this roster, what do you say, Rio? We are 4 or 5 win team without him, man. Like that's why it always goes back to the success of Jayden Daniels, because look at what he's doing. If it's not standing in the pocket, which again, like you said, Todd Bowles was coming at him early and pretty much all day, and it was kind of surprising that he only got sacked one time. Brandon Coleman gave up that sack, and they brought up the fact that he gave up 9 sacks this season. But yeah, man, it's insane what he's doing, bro. Like
that's a good point. Street James said if you look at his runs, it looks like he's looking for contact, but the last thing you just said, Brandon Coleman. Let's have a conversation. Man, he's a rookie, you know, and he has to grow into his position. Part of me still says kick him in the guard and we need to get a left tackle in the building. What do you think about Brandon Coleman being the left tackle of the future for this team?
Yeah, so I'm more of a patient guy, you know, and I always tend to give guys opportunity after opportunity, but I'm kind of riding with whatever they decide with this move. I definitely feel like Washington could upgrade the left tackle position if they choose to. But if they say, man, I really think Coleman just needs more time, another year under his belt, and he could really turn into something special, I'm all for that as well. I think the best way to go about it is maybe go try to find a veteran guy, or I don't know if you still want to bring back Cole Luke for that opportunity, or because I look at it as, do you spend a high draft pick on a left tackle that can obviously be that franchise piece, you know, or do you invest a couple years into an older veteran and still kind of develop Brandon Coleman behind him if you feel like that's the route to go, and then next year or the year after he's finally ready to take over. So I'm kind of sitting in a patient, you know, route with him, although it is tough at times because it's like, come on, be Cole, what you doing? But I kind of want to give him another opportunity to see if he can come along next year.
My man said we don't need Saquon or Henry. We just need someone who isn't complete ass. Exactly. We're not shopping for the top 2. Like I would love to have Omarion Hampton or Ashton Genty, but that's going to be a little bit too rich for our blood, and they're probably going to be off the board when we pick 26th in the draft. So maybe Hampton was on the board. Oh, he's a dog too, but we're not getting the top 2 running backs in the draft. That's why I go to a guy like Judkins on day 2. That would make my day. But Brandon Coleman, Nick Allegretti, you know, Andrew Wiley. Andrew Wiley was blocking his ass down the stretch though, but we've had such a revolving door at the offensive line. Like, you know, we're not working with the best names in the league. There have been times this year where they were one of the better groups in the league, but they're always shuffling. Someone's always hurt, and we're getting a lot of inconsistency. Tyler Biadasz has been like the only constantly good guy every time he's out there on the field. How would you assess our offensive line going into the offseason?
Yeah, I definitely feel like the offensive line does need some work. I mean, and you can obviously, like I said, you can start with left tackle if you choose, though, choose to do so. I mean, Nick Algretti yesterday, I forget what exact play it was, but my man was eating dirt like a couple of times on some of those plays yesterday. And as you mentioned, Tyler Biadasz seems to be the glue. Like when he's not in there, it's 10 times worse, and he's been the only consistent guy that's really been holding it down. Cosme, Biadasz, Wiley. This is one of his better years here, obviously. But outside of Cosme and Biadasz, if they was to say, hey, you know what? Which I highly doubt that happens, but if they was to say, hey, man, we want to upgrade left tackle, we want to upgrade left guard, and also right tackle, I'll be all for it, Rio, if I'm being honest. Like, yeah, I said I'm a patient guy, but if I'm really just riding with whatever they believe in is the best for this team, because obviously the offensive line isn't trash, but it definitely can be way better. And just imagine, Rio, like what Five is doing now behind this. Imagine if he just somehow we got a superstar left tackle and turned this offensive line. I don't know, Rio. Compare this offensive. What's one of the best offensive lines? Just shoot me with
Philly has a really good offensive line.
Let's go with Philly then for this example. Imagine Five behind Philly's offensive line.
Oh, it'd be like, did you see Jalen Hurts touchdown to Jahan Dotson? He had 7 seconds to throw the football.
Yeah, I saw that. And weirdly enough, I kind of had no feeling towards it. Like, I don't know why I thought this rush of hate would come towards me when I saw Jahan Dotson catch him. I was like, okay, Han, I see.
It was like when one of your boys that you used to rock with that you just don't talk to anymore, you see him do say, man, look at you go, man. Look at you go over there.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Law, I know I was talking to my boy Law in the chat who said, why are we talking about the offensive line? They gave up 1 sack for 0 yards. That would be the lazy way to look at it. I don't think the offensive line played well. The offensive line didn't do well. We didn't have no running game, but we have a special quarterback, a cerebral quarterback that knows how to extend plays, that knows how to escape pockets. And unlike earlier in the season, Jayden is running to throw. He's running around. That play he made to De'Ami Brown on the scramble, like that was the type of stuff that people didn't see enough at LSU because he didn't have to do it with Neighbors and Thomas Jr. on the field with him. But Jayden made things work. They were on his ass all day. The left tackle was getting beat like a fucking drum for most of the night yesterday, but Jayden didn't get sacked because of himself. It does not mean our line played well yesterday, so do not get it twisted. That was not a great performance by them, but they did good enough, and down the stretch they were pushing. I was watching Biadasz and Wiley whoop ass on the final drive of the game, but I'm not mad at anything. Our offense. Oh, there we go. We were on our Dan Campbell shit yesterday. We were on our. How did you feel going for all those fourth down? Because even me, a person that likes to live dangerous, I was getting kind of pussy. I was like, oh no, we can't go for it. Oh, we got to take the points. It's the playoff. I was being scary, man. What about you?
Yeah, man, I was the polar opposite, Rio. I literally, I lied to you not, bro. I was for every single fourth down. Literally before it even turned to us saying, let's go. I'm like, let's go. Let's do it. Because I love that. Like, we're the technically underdogs. We're on the road. We're not supposed to be here. We're playing with house money. So what do we got to lose? What do we got to be scared for? You know what I'm saying? I was literally that. I'm talking about that 4th and 6. Even the ones where we didn't get, I was still fine with not getting the points. I'm like, because you got to think about it as well. Let's call it what it is. It's the opponent too. Yep. I think this is Dan Quinn's, and I'm not just saying this, y'all, because we converted on these fourth downs. Even though, like I said, the ones we didn't get, I feel like this was his best coached game as far as Dan Quinn from the managing standpoint, from the aggression standpoint. I mean, we even went out there and tried to get them to jump off sides before taking a final timeout. Like, come on, like that was so intelligent right there, man. I loved it, bro. I loved every single one we got. We went for. I will say that they missed a pass interference on Levante David that would have kind of got us an automatic first down as well, but we did miss a couple. But I was fine with it because, again, it's Tampa Bay. You clearly ain't going to do that against a team that you feel is threatening you and can score efficiently. Like Detroit, if they play how they normally play, I don't expect Dan Quinn to be this aggressive. I don't expect them to just, fold up and, get solved, but I don't expect them to be this aggressive against a team that he feels can score more points. And of course, it depends how the game is going. If Tampa Bay was on the normal Tampa Bay stuff, putting up 30, etc., we probably wouldn't be that aggressive, but defense was playing really well. And it was also the field position too, Rio, as that you look at fourth down from the 10. Okay, if you don't get it now, they got to drive all the way down. And let's be real, outside of that Baker Mayfield run and that Mike Evans conversion, they wasn't really doing much offensively that scares you from going for. So I loved each and every single one we went for, even the ones that we didn't get. I was all for it, bro. Because we got 5, by the way.
What up, Pedro?
What up, boys?
Good.
Hey, what a great victory Monday here. The only team to win on the road this weekend. And honestly, I'm not even counting the Rams. If the Vikings win, they didn't win on the road. It's a neutral site. So JD5, I mean, I'm sure you guys have talked about him the whole time, but just a great win yesterday. I never felt like, even though the whole time, was feeling good, I never felt like satisfied until the clock hit 0, because with this team some BS is going to happen or something. I mean, I guess those are just the flashbacks, right, from the old regimes, but I was just waiting for that clock to hit 0, and when it did, man, what a feeling.
This is the first playoff win of your life, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was born before me and Juan were like toddlers, so yeah, it didn't count.
So how does it feel? We're in unfamiliar territory with this bona fide superstar quarterback. Give me your initial feeling when that field goal doinked through the uprights last night.
Man, I don't know if you saw my tweet. Like, I literally have a pic. If you want to go to it, I literally have a picture because I had someone record my reaction. I was like 4 feet in the air, jumping up. I was going crazy. I was going crazy when it happened. And it was really when Jayden got the run on 3rd and 1, when I was like, all right, it's a game. I mean, obviously you still got
the same thing Juan said. That's the same thing Juan said.
Yeah, it's just, but you got Zane, the kicker issues, and him touching his hair, whatever.
His shoe. He was touching his shoe this time too.
Yeah, it worked. It worked. Here's the thing. I know people were like hating on him, but dude, the guy made a 52-yarder and then he made the other 2 kicks. So like, yeah, it wasn't pretty, but a 52-yarder, like, if he doesn't make that kick, which is a tough kick to make, it's a different game. He's kicking to tie that at the end of the game, or they're just going for a touchdown. So I think we got to give a shout out to Zane, but that was crazy. Like you said, I mean, this is basically me and Juan's first playoff win ever that we've been, part of watching the team. And it was a great feeling. All the Washington fans coming together, and all the other, haters, they can keep hating, the Twitter guys, the Jayden Daniels haters, but because they're still out there, but it doesn't matter. I mean, we're in the second round of the playoffs and we have a chance to win. The Lions, obviously they're good, but I'm not too scared, just because, like, yeah, they're favored. They could win, but here's the thing. They got a good offense, but we have a great offense too. And their defense isn't that good. So isn't elite. So we're going to be putting up points regardless. It's just, are we going to be able to make a stop or 2 the whole game? Because I think it's going to be a shootout for sure.
Yep, and I'm not ready to dig into that game yet, but for all these Lions fans that I've been introduced to since last night that have been popping in and out of the chat, I will look you straight in your eyes and say we got the better quarterback on Saturday. But let's move on to, we were just talking about the offense, so I'm going to ask you a couple questions that I was asking Juan. How about Dyami Brown yesterday, man? Holy shit.
I mean, hey, shout out Dyami Brown, man. I mean, this year, I mean, honestly, like, he was fine this year. Like, he wasn't doing anything crazy. It's good. But yeah, he wasn't doing anything crazy, but he wasn't making a ton of plays. Like, early on in the offseason, people were like, oh, maybe he's going to be 2, especially after trading Jahan. And, I was thinking maybe that's a possibility as well, but he never really stepped up. Last couple weeks, though, he's been making plays. And yeah, yesterday, 5 catches, 89 yards on 5 targets, also drew a PI in the end zone that got us to the 1. We should have, taken advantage of that. But yeah, Dyami Brown is a stud. Would not mind him back next year. Commanders definitely still got to bring in another receiver. it's just not. They got a bunch of 3s and 4s. They don't have a 2. They don't have a 2 at all. So they definitely need to bring in some other receivers. But Diami was really good yesterday, and I'm really happy for him. I was watching the other games, and I saw Curtis Samuel score, and then I saw Jahan score, and I was like, I told myself I'm gonna put a parlay on Diami and Terry to score because it's like the 4 top guys from last year. But then I forgot to place it, of course. But definitely, it's crazy to see all those guys scoring one day.
Hey, Ballhead Troop Network, my guy, he's joined up last night. This is a Detroit Lions fan. I'm just going to get this out of the way real quick. We should be hyped. Our development is moving faster than yours did. It took y'all one ass year to get to a 9-win season and so forth. We are 12 wins and a playoff win off break. I'm going to say this to all Detroit Lions fans respectfully. Your franchise has never been to a Super Bowl. You've seen your team succeed as much as I've seen my team succeed as a 33-year-old Washington fan. We aren't afraid of you. Carry on with your days now. What's funny to me, why is Chris Moore getting snaps and he just got here the other day and KJ Osborne inactive? Do y'all have an answer for that?
I mean, I wanna give him an out and say maybe he's still dealing with an injury, but what if he's just not picking up on the playbook, or what if he's just simply ass?
Yeah, he might be ass, bro.
Like,
yeah. And the real question is, like, Luke hasn't been getting any like targets or anything in the offense. I mean, they had, I think, Bryson Tremaine out snapping him a few weeks ago. They brought in Chris Moore. So clearly Luke isn't impressing them. But
Luke is Rock Cartwright. He's a kick returner.
Yeah, he was. The thing is, though, they were getting him involved early on in the season, and then it just kind of fizzled out. He hasn't done anything. But honestly, he's been good as a kick returner. That's not what you want in a 3rd-round pick. But shout out to Luke. I mean, would like to see something from Ben Sennett, though, who hasn't done anything all year. But this is a day to be positive, and yeah. So we'll see about KJ Osborne. I don't think he's going to be doing anything, though, the next week or two.
Chris Moore got signed like 2 days ago, and he was dressing for the team this week. Like, yeah, that's crazy. He got snaps, too. Like, what?
Yeah. Did y'all talk about the Brian Robinson situation and how he played last night? Because I think that's something that needs to be addressed.
We sure did. What was your thoughts about the running game? Because there was none. If Jayden didn't run for 36 yards, like his 36 felt like 80 yesterday because they were so important.
Yeah, I mean, I was tweeting it all day yesterday. I was like, I don't want to see B-Rob get another carry. And a couple weeks ago, I talked about it too. Like, we might have a running back controversy. Like, I think Chris Rodriguez, like, is he elite? Nah, but I mean, what he's shown this year, he's been pretty efficient. And I don't think he's shown anything less than B-Rob has. So to have him inactive for me was kind of crazy because I think you got 4 running backs that all are capable. I think you just keep them all 4 active and see who has the hot hand. So if you can start off with B-Rob. If he's not doing well, put in Chris Rodriguez because I think he would have done better than B-Rob did yesterday. And let's keep it real, though. The offensive line was not doing him any favors. I mean, there was so many times where he just got hit at the line of scrimmage or behind the line of scrimmage, but Eckler was making some things work. I don't know why they choose to throw a little screen. Like, it was back-to-back plays. It was in the first quarter, I think. They threw a screen to B-Rob. He gets tackled immediately for 2 yards, and they throw it to Eckler, and he gets like 8 or 9 yards. I'm like, why are you throwing it to B-Rob? Like, I'd much rather get like the difference between him and Eckler is just insane.
The perfect play to depict what we're saying is the play where Jayden dumps it off to B-Rob on the right flat, and there was like one defender in the area, and there's just no wiggle. There's no agile ability. It's just like I'm seeking contact, and if I don't truck you, there's really no plan there. But man, and I gotta keep it spicy. Yes, Detroit does have a right to talk shit. They are 15-2. They are the best team in the conference. They are phenomenal. Best offense in the league. Kirby Joseph had 9 interceptions, all that good stuff. I'm happy for them. I'm happy to see that French. I love to see teams come out of poverty to prominence like we just did this year. But don't put the cart in front of the horse. Detroit has accomplished nothing yet. They got to the NFC Championship last year and choked 8 Mile style. Eminem's from Detroit too. It runs in the family. They choked in front of the whole world last year. So we're not going to sit here and fear them like they're the Kansas City Chiefs coming off back-to-back Super Bowl. Ford Field is not Arrowhead Stadium. So don't get it twisted. That's all I'm saying to Detroit Lions fans as we talk about this one. Yes, you heard a Rock Cartwright reference, man. I love the energy in the chat. All right, let's address the elephant in the room. We're celebrating a victory. I start with Juan with this one. What was your objective opinion of Marshawn Lattimore's game yesterday?
Oh, man. I mean, look, it was like watching a heavyweight fight coming into this game. I'm watching highlights of 2017. I made a whole breakdown, kind of trilogy background of how did it start and where is it at now kind of video. And I was like, hold on, let me find out Jameis is the reason for all this. It wasn't even just pure hatred towards him, but Jameis started this whole thing. So I'm getting amped. I hear Marshawn say, I'm ready to just lock him down. So I'm really thinking, hey, he's about to go down. And then, man, they didn't waste no time going after Marshawn. They went right after Marshawn Lattimore. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right, okay. I just kept saying, okay. Then the third one, I think it was the defense. It was either the third down conversion where Mike Evans was across the middle, or the defensive pass interference where I said, oh my God, we in trouble. Marshawn St. Juice is what somebody said on Twitter. And I was just like, Lord, what? I don't know what it is. I really can't tell you. I know they ran a couple pick plays, so it's kind of hard to defend on those. He had to go all around that. And then obviously Mike Evans is line up in the slot, and he's very good as well. So you had to go over that some plays. And then other plays, I was just kind of like, watching their battle and just knowing Mike Evans, he's not at a disadvantage, but to disrupt him, you got to get up on him. You got to challenge him at the line, get your hands on him. And for the whole game, it just seemed like Marshawn was 10, 12 yards off, allowing him free release, and he wasn't as aggressive. I don't know if it was due to the scheme. I don't know if it was because he didn't trust his hammy. I don't know why, but it was just too easy for Mike Evans, man. And I saw a lot of people start to say, is it time to question Marshawn Lattimore? I don't want to go there, but it definitely was a little concerning. But I just think he hasn't played enough ball this season, man. He's dealt with too much injuries, and the two matchups that he came back for, AJ Brown and then freaking Mike Evans. So imagine having 3 weeks off. This is no excuse, but imagine having almost a month off and say, oh yeah, your first game is against AJ Brown. Oh yeah, 2.5 weeks off. Now your first game back against Mike Evans. No excuse built in because you got to perform. But it's just like, damn, man. I really don't know.
Pedro?
Yeah, I mean, he was objectively bad yesterday. I would say maybe I'm tripping. I just don't think he's healthy. You look at the first two plays that Evans cooked him, he was nowhere near him. Lattimore was nowhere near him. It was maybe the first possession. He got 12, 13 yards on both plays. He was nowhere near him. I don't think he's healthy. He's healthy enough to play though, so he should be playing better. But again, I don't think he's healthy enough. So I think that definitely was affecting him. But yeah, he got sunned. I mean, he got one third down conversion and then the PI, which was a little BS, but whatever. And
then the PI, I don't know why they called that.
That was BS.
If that was PI, then that was PI when Terry went for the deep ball up the right side.
Exactly. And then he got sunned in the end zone. So it is what it is. He wasn't good, but I think he's not healthy. Hopefully another week helps him out. I'm interested to see what they do this week against the Lions. And I know you said we'll talk about that later, but I just don't know. The receiver, their receiver room's crazy. I think Sanders still would be a good matchup against St. Brown just because St. Brown isn't that big. So I think you can do that. But yeah, Lattimore, we'll see what he does this week, but it wasn't pretty with him. But the second half, though, we'll have to give the Commanders credit. They did shut Evans down a lot more.
They adjusted, and for whatever reason, for whatever reason, they stopped throwing the ball. Baker threw the ball 18 times yesterday. Is that not weird to y'all?
That's great. Only 3 incompletions, too.
Hey, 15 of 18. They just understand our run defense is ass, but Baker Mayfield, 41 touchdown Baker Mayfield. Y'all pretty much took the game out of his head. Thank you, though.
Exactly.
It was a strange, man. Marshawn, so we put our corners at the first down marker. It's we put them 9 and 10 yards back. Maybe that's because we're stacking the line to and they're there for security in case they run the ball because we can't stop the run. But I don't even like the cushions we were getting. Like, we're giving Marshawn Lattimore like a 10-yard cushion. They're throwing a slant. No shit, he's gonna catch a slant in front of him. He's waving. He has to come uphill just to meet him for the. But I want to give him the. I want to shoot him the bail of the injury. I think he's working back from the hamstring. I don't think he's significantly hampered from it. I think it was just a bad game. I think it was a bad game. We weren't in the greatest, like we were not even pressing this guy off the ball much. We were pretty much spotting him first downs, which is weird because that's Mike Evans. And thank you, God, the Buccaneers decided to stop putting the ball in Baker Mayfield's head. I don't know why they just, did y'all know why they stopped throwing the ball yesterday?
I really don't know. I mean, because if I was the Bucks, I would have just kept abusing Marshawn Lattimore. As bad as that sound, I would have kept attacking him because clearly he wasn't able to keep up with Mike Evans. But yeah, I really don't know. I mean, speaking of the rest of their offense, real quick, just to go earlier back to the point of running backs, and you were saying a day 2 pick, man. I hope Quishon Judkins could be Bucky Irvin. They got him in the 6th, man. That's insane. But yeah,
this running back class is deep as hell. So there's some
Exactly.
there's some dudes coming up in that. We finally, we watch games league wide where fluky shit happens and teams get second chances and they're gifted turnovers. Washington doesn't really get those. Last night, we got a gift from the football gods. They didn't call a PI on the Zach Ertz 4th and goal play. The Bucks get the ball and the flukest turnover I've ever seen. What the hell happened on that play with Baker, man?
Yeah, that was crazy. I mean, I don't know what happened, but it ended up working out. And thank God Bobby Wagner was there to get the ball. And then, I mean, it was just a ball don't lie moment with the PI not being called. And then honestly, not as big of a moment, but their last possession, that 3rd and inches, like I think they're getting that, right? If that, whatever the snap count didn't work out, it didn't work out and they lose 3 yards and they have to kick a field goal right then.
Baker Mayfield looked like he got paused. Like he snapped the ball and just stood there.
Yeah, he just paused. So like, that was huge because they probably get that. If I'm being honest, they get that. And then they have another set of downs. Maybe they don't get a touchdown, but it gave the Commanders 4 minutes to just get a field goal. And with JD5, like that's the lock that he's at least getting a field goal for y'all.
Hey, Juan, what'd you think of these gifts they gave? We seen Baker Mayfield pause and malfunction, and we seen him randomly start tumbling and fumble a snap while trying to hand the ball off.
Yeah, man, it was crazy. At first, I was just thanking God Calcaterra was nowhere near to be found because it seems like he always jumps on them things. So good thing we wasn't playing the Eagles because he would have got it. But it was kind of interesting because they were trying to figure out was McMillan did McMillan run too fast, or they was trying to find a way to see why did it happen. I think Baker just had it happens. He's human. Like, I don't know. He just had a bad handle of the football. And then, the pause, as you said, Pedro, they're getting that for sure. I truly think without a doubt they're getting that if that snap was on time. Earlier, football guys was trying to help us early though, because if Quan Martin had turned his head, that touchdown that Marshawn Lattimore gave up, I don't think happens. At worst, it's a pass deflection. So, I mean, football guys seem to be on our side yesterday, man. And it feels good to be on the right side of that because too many times in the past have we been on the wrong side of that, and it's just a gut-wrenching feeling. And I know in the playoffs it hurts more because it's like ain't no next week, ain't no we let this one slip away. We get to get them, we get to try again next. No, your season is cooked, bro. And I just know every Buccaneers fan heart dropped to their stomach when that happened. But us on the other hand, I'm over this, Joe. Yeah,
I know.
I'm like, let's go, Bobby. Because I ain't gonna lie, it happened fast. So I'm thinking Bobby did something like he stripped it or something. And then Bobby comes out the pile and he's like, let's go, man. I was just so juiced because I'm like, hey, football guys, thank you so much, man.
Oh my goodness, man. It felt like this team is touched by an angel this year, whether it's the Hail Mary, the play versus Dallas, even though we didn't finish it. 6 straight games, and most of them have come down to some type of last-second victory.
The guy said, I think it was today in the Dan Quinn press conference, I think it was Scott Abram asked, like, said the last 5 plays, and I'm trying to think if this is correct. The last 5 games have ended on the last play, which is like crazy to think about. Like,
yep, we got the Saints game, the Cowboys game, the Eagles game, the Falcons game, and now it's playoff. Oh shit, that is 5 games that have come down the
like that's
walk-off.
insane. Like last second. It's not even like, oh, it happened on like 5 seconds. Like this is last. Or I guess the Eagles one might have had like 4 seconds, but it's last second, whatever.
This shit is fun, man. It's a fun time to be a Washington fan because this is how the Chiefs be winning. I'm not calling us the Chiefs. I'm not doing that, but this is how the Chiefs win like we won last night on a regular basis.
Is when you're good, you win these close games. Like that's what good teams do. People like to say the Chiefs get bailed out, whatever. Like maybe sometimes they do, but the reason why they win all those games is they got Mahomes. They know how to win those clutch games, those last second games, those close games. They consistently win those games. So it's not really luck, and the Commanders are turning into that where they're just winning these last second games. They find out how to win these last second games. So I'm really happy about that for sure.
Hell yeah, man. Bobby Wagner has turned back the clock. This dude is ageless, man. What a game yesterday. The 254s, Levante David and Bobby Wagner were all over your television screen last night.
Yep.
Let's
talk. You want to talk about John Allen and Daron Payne? I mean, I guess Payne was whatever. He got hurt. We'll give him a little.
That dislocation was disgusting. I seen the picture of the X-ray.
I saw that too. Crazy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but I'll speak on the Bobby Wagner thing for a second, man. Well, first of all, Levante David. I'm not gonna take no credit away from LD. I like Levante David all the time, great, right? But let's call it what I think 5 just hesitated right there. That was some first matchup against Philly-ish where they thought Nolan Smith and all those guys could really keep up with him. I think he just hesitated. I don't know why, but I think he just simply hesitated, and Levante David was able to get him. As far as Bobby Wagner,
hey, that boy was flying though.
I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, I ain't gonna take no credit away from him, but it's hard for me to really simply believe, like, but maybe he did. But as far as Bobby Wagner, man, like you said, he means so much to this team. And he's only been here 1 season. Like, just imagine, like, this is what Seahawks fans got to experience forever, right? Like, he means so much to this team. As a leader, he was the one guy to step up and say, hey, we ain't about to answer that. Y'all gonna be the same people saying in 5 weeks when we back on our right match, you're gonna be asking me how we do it. This is a good team. I know it. Like, he's the Marcus Mariota of the defense. Like, we have guys that literally, been there, done that, and can lead this team, and I love it. And then not just be a leader, you can actually go out there and perform. I mean, he shot through the gap and blew up. Who was it? Bucky? It was one of the running backs in the backfield.
Yeah, it was.
It was Bucky. It was Bucky.
Yeah, he blew him up, man. And it's just insane. At this age, he continues to play, and I'm like, hey, Bobby, what's up? He ain't talking nothing about retirement. So, like, what's up? You got 2-3 more years of you? What's up? Get that. Like, well, I want you back here, man. And I think he ultimately wants to be. Is it crazy to say he may finish it because his career in Washington? They did say he started his second semester of Masters at Howard.
Yeah.
He probably don't.
He's the quarterback of the defense, man. Absolutely, you want him to finish his career here. He'll probably do that and maybe take a 1-day contract retire as a Seahawk. How teams honor a gold jacket type guy. But yes, I think his football on the field career should end here in DC. And while we're at it, I know we need a number 1 and a starter there. Ertz might be a part of it too. Jayden loves Zach Ertz.
Yeah, he does. And I'm so happy for Zach Ertz because early on, and then rightfully so, especially after that Steelers game, people was giving him the business, saying he can go. He can't move. He's stiff. And then he just had this resurgence, man, and he's been nothing but amazing. And as you mentioned, 5 loves Zach Ertz, man. So just imagine. Obviously, I'm thankful for what he's doing, but just imagine when a young spry tight end gets up in there, he's going to target. I'm like, I just constantly just dream about Jordan Reed working out, man, and just like we need one of those back. Like, just imagine having that with this offense. One of those.
Yeah.
We can literally have a 2 tight end system if we get a good guy to pair with Zach Ertz for another year and have him learn the ropes. I think a lot of fans, because where we drafted him, we wanted that to be Ben Sinnott. I mean, the jury's still out on him, but no, I don't think that's on the roster right now.
Yeah, I agree. And yeah, Zach Ertz has had a good year. I think a lot of people were hating on him early on, saying he wasn't going to do anything, but he turned out to be like pretty solid. Obviously, you think, they need to add some other guys. He's not super athletic. He's not a yak guy, but he'll make those dependable catches that you need. And yeah, I agree, Rio. I don't know if the second tight end's on this roster. Like, they drafted Benson in the second round, so like clearly they liked him, and
they got Sinnott moving like he's gonna be Bates once Bates leaves. And
and that's crazy. I'm sorry, that's crazy as a second round pick. But it's year one, and people want to point to tight ends. It takes a long time to develop, but I need more than 40 yards from you in your rookie year. But it is what it is. We'll see. But the amount of players that Adam Peters found this offseason, just like almost all of them were hits. Like, you think about it, there's not many misses. I mean, Jeremy Chin, Frankie Louvu, Dorrance Armstrong's been good, Tyler Biotish. I mean, literally Zach Ertz, Eckler, Bobby Wagner. Just everyone turned out to be pretty good.
The man acquired 3 All-Pros. like what?
It's insane. And it's crazy, and I don't even want to bring him up because the guy pisses me off so much. But Ron Rivera, the man was a linebacker. He had Jack Del Rio as a linebacker too, and he was here. I don't even know. It felt like 30 years, but 4 years, and he can't get one good linebacker. Like, it was crazy because every offseason, Juan, Rio, everyone was saying, get this linebacker. And the man was like, you know what? I'm going to run it back with David Mayo and John Bostic every single year. And the same, like, it actually is insane to me that man had a job. Like, I don't know how he had a job picking players because he could not do it at all. And for 1 year, they bring in Peters, who brings in Wagner and brings in Frankie Louvu, 2 studs. Transform the linebacking core in 1 season. Like, it was crazy, and it just like shows how much Rivera was holding us back in the personnel department.
Good times. My boy Door Gunner was in the building yesterday in Tampa. He said the stands were lit last night. Told Bucks fans it was game over when we got the ball back for the last drive. Bro, we dominated that stadium. On Terry's first deep ball, the Terry chants, you could hear them all over. Jayden getting MVP chants while the game's still going on the road in his first playoff game is crazy, man.
No, facts. That was insane. You hear the Terry. You hear MVP. You hear defense. You hear it. I'm like, yo, what's going? Like, this is typically us getting on home field dominated. Like, we're doing that now
in a playoff game.
Yes, in a playoff game. But Dorgunner, shout out to Dorgunner. He did say like Tampa is fair weather when it comes to sports. At least the Bucks. Like, I don't know about Lightning or the Rays, but they're fair weather. So like, they don't really come out to support. So he did say that, and but I was kind of on fence. I was like, man, I don't know, Dorgunner's playoffs, man. They might just come out just cause, but we took over that stadium, man, and it got loud and just man, I still think about what if Terry would have finished that catch for that. It would have been a touchdown, or he would have been down at the 1. But he had that first deep ball. The second one, man, he was this close, but it was a good play by 27 for breaking it up at the end.
That throw was beautiful.
Go ahead, Pedro.
No, I was gonna say, it's like, if you're like Rio said earlier, if you're gonna call a Lattimore one PI, that one was probably PI.
But because Terry literally, like, for all the slack people gets him for, he's a body catcher. That was straight hands. The ball was in both of his hands. He would have fell to the ground with it in it, like, but it was just as you guys said, DPI.
Either that or a good defensive play from the defensive play, because he knocked the touchdown out of his hand. But what if that ball placement is everything you could dream? Yo, Jayden just sits his skinny ass in the pocket and delivers throws all over the football field. There's not a throw in that field he can't make.
No,
yeah. And shout out Door Gunner, my guy. And yeah, the Commanders fans were out there. They were taking over the stadium. I was, the only thing was like, when they're on offense, they gotta chill a little bit with the with the MVP chance because the offense is trying to call the
let
plays.
Let them operate.
Yeah, I don't know if y'all saw the Ravens game. Lamar was just going crazy,
and he made the whole crowd come to a complete silence.
Yeah, exactly.
Whoa.
But yeah, it was great to see the fans take over yesterday, and we'll see. I mean, the Lions it's a much more passionate fan base, but we'll
It's gonna
see.
be all blue, and it's gonna be like 90% blue in there, bro.
Yeah.
This is Super Bowl, like, bro. Them tickets look like rent.
Yeah, nah, that's definitely all blue right there. I guess the only hope would be if we got past them, and I'm like, man, like I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. We still got a big game, but like imagine we somehow get past Detroit and then the Rams beat the Eagles or whoever they face, and then we get to go to SoFi for the NFC Championship, which ironically would be a home game, bro. Like, oh man, it would be crazy, bro.
Don't this shit get you thinking, man?
Yeah, it
if
does.
we win and the Eagles win, I don't care. I'm driving up to Philly. I do not care at all.
Yeah, look, hey, look,
bro. Go with a crew with you, bro.
I know.
I ain't gonna lie because I know they always said this about Philly fans, but they show like a classic Philly video where it was like from 1980, and the Skins we went down there to them, like the fans went down there, and they was literally just like beating the hell out of us, bro, for no reason. Yeah,
they're like actual scum humans up there, bro.
Yeah, man. And then they gave like hell to the 49ers fan that was up there like yesterday, like last year. And it's just like, dang, bro, like that. It's just football, it's sports, bro. Like, and it's just so their fan base when it comes to any sport, they're like that with the Phillies, the Eagles, Six. Like they're so obnoxious, and they're hard on their own team too. Like it's just like, man, I don't know how you could play for a city like that. Like I try not to disrespect them, but bro, come on.
I know a Packers content creator, one of my guys at Roundtable Sport. Someone is literally at the game yesterday calling his girlfriend a stupid cunt for being a fan.
I saw that video.
Yo, like what are we do? First of all, like, hey, my respect to Buddy for not absolutely curbs. Like, just one thing to talk to me, talk to my lady like that. Oh, no, that's crazy. Philly fans, scum of the earth, degenerate is why we hate them all. Imagine if we get a dominant pass rush, we'll for sure alleviate issues in the secondary and will allow our other pieces to flourish. Same with running back, big swerve. I'm thinking as exciting and as explosive as we want Washington's late first round to be, don't be surprised if it's a tackle or an edge rusher, because we do. As much as I like Dante Fowler as an edge rusher, Frankie Louvu as a part-time edge rusher, we do need some young, explosive, bendy, athletic freak off the edge. We need somebody that like game breaking. And I'm not taking anything from those guys. I want us to re-sign Dante Fowler Jr. I want Louvu to keep getting back to it. Louvu needs to. It's been a minute, by the way. I need Louvu to turn up this Saturday versus the Lions, but we could definitely use some youth coming off the edge. Appreciate you, JTF. We've accomplished more with less than Dallas, who accomplished less with more. Hearing Cowboy fans having a meltdown over our win is music to my ears. And they fired their coach today. What were y'all thoughts about that? They did it later than everybody else. They don't even get to interview Ben Johnson this week. What did y'all feel when y'all heard Dallas let go of Mike McCarthy today? I'll start with Pedro.
Well, I'm a late bird, so woke up late and I saw that news, but hey, it is what it is. I think Mike, he's not an awful coach, but I think his game management at times, but they won 8 games. Well, they won 8 games, right? I think it was 8-9 this year with.
I think was it 8 or was it 7?
I think it was 7. I think it was
7 and 10.
Yeah, 7 and 10.
We beat them. They were about to have number 8 versus us.
Yeah. So I mean, it is what it is. They move on. I'm glad they did it the way they did, which, like you said, they don't get to interview Ben Johnson. And I don't know. We'll see who they get. I don't love the candidates this year. I think Ben Johnson's the probably the top guy, but who knows? I mean, something's a little off with him. I don't know. I just think with Ben Johnson, schematically,
he's very particular.
Yes, schematic. Like he's the Josh McDaniels types of vibes, but he has good schematics, and we'll see him this week. But it's definitely personal this week with the Commanders and the Lions. Maybe not with the players at all, but like in terms of like, I know Josh Harris, Peters, and them are going to really want this win after Ben Johnson disrespected them like that. But yeah, we'll see what the Cowboys do. I think for sure the Commanders are number 2 or number 1 in the division in terms of their future. I mean, the Cowboys, their future is not bright with all their money they got tied up to Dak, to CD. I mean, CD is good, but I'm just saying they got a lot of money tied up and they don't got a lot of great players. So, yeah, I don't think their future's too bright. The Giants, I don't even have to talk about that. I really hope they take a quarterback this year because I don't think any of the quarterbacks are going to be that good. Set them back another few years, and the Eagles are good, but I think we're right up there with them. I mean, we won 12 games in our first year, so Jayden's first year, so we'll see. But yeah, for me, Mike, it is what it is. It's an move, but it's just another Jerry type of move where he waited too long, didn't let the Bears interview him last week, and then just a bunch of BS like that. The Cooper Rush thing that they try to take away the incentive from him. So yeah.
What'd you think, Juan?
Yeah, so I mean, they tried to, I guess, do it a cute way of, we didn't fire him, his contract expired, so we mutually agreed to part ways, and we know what it really was. But nah, man, I saw that and I was just like, wow, because I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, he was taking forever, so I thought he definitely was gonna return back to Dallas. They fired him today, and as you mentioned, he can't interview Ben Johnson or for that matter, Aaron Glenn either. And I genuinely just don't know how Dallas is going to be successful because Jerry just wants to be so hands-on. He wants all the success. He's the only owner I know that does consistent media hits every week. Like, I don't get it,
So quarterback.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think that, and that's just not me being hateful or I'm being truly honest. We've been there. When your owner is too hands-on, you don't allow the people you put in these positions to do their freaking job. So I don't see nobody qualified enough to want to go to Dallas and actually be under Jerry Jones. It's going to be another yes man that's going to just do what he said. And 100%. Then Dallas fans are going to be pissed off once again when they're 7-10 and Dak Prescott is this, and it's just going to be a competed cycle until Jerry Jones decides to sell the team, which is never going to happen. And then when he's gone off the earth, which I hope is no time soon, I don't wish death on anybody, but when he's gone off the earth, you just got to hope and pray that his son is better, and the opposite of him, which I don't think so. I think they're pretty much the same. So Dallas fans just seem to be screwed, man. I don't know.
Oh man, I think Jerry gonna do some dumb shit like hire Jason Witten. He's going to bring Jason. That's his Jeff Saturday hire. He's going to hire Jason Witten. Jason is a former Cowboy. He did a lot of great things here. And
did you see the Bill Belichick thing too? Like Bill Belichick would have been interested in going with. Yeah, exactly. But then he just took too long. So.
I love that for them. I think they're going to make a stupid decision. I don't think they're going to get one of the top guys because Jerry wants a yes man. Jerry wants a guy that's going to fall in line. Like, so those who say, what if they go get Coach Prime? Dion is way too big a superstar. You are not allowed to have a bigger star than the owner. You're not allowed to your star is not allowed to shine brighter than Jerry Jones is in that stadium. So it ain't going to be somebody like Dion. I doubt they get Ben Johnson, even though I could see that. If I'm Ben Johnson, that's one of the better situations out there, bro, because like the Raiders, really? Like, what do the Raiders have other than a GM and head coach opening and Brock Bowers and Max Crow? What are they going to do at quarterback? What's the plan at quarterback for the Raiders?
I mean, I really don't know. That they played themselves out of the pick, correct? Like, they're gonna have to now trade up potentially, right?
Yeah,
or
here's the Lovie Smith. They was winning games.
Yeah. Shedeur Sanders was so geeked to go to Las Vegas, and I think, and now obviously everyone was like, why would he want to go to Vegas? Because he wants to be with Tom Brady. So I feel like that's Mark Davis is putting all his baskets and all his eggs into Tom Brady's basket because he's pulling the strings there in Las Vegas. And someone made a good point. Tom Brady is obviously a commentator as well, and he's going to be on the call for our game on Sunday or Saturday, and they say watch how he starts to drool over Ben Johnson, because technically, I don't know if you guys saw the stipulations, but since he's a part owner, it's a lot he cannot do as like a normal commentator. Like, he can't go to production meetings, he can't go to team facilities, he cannot do the typical commentator stuff.
Oh, weird.
Like, he can't talk bad about refs, he can't talk bad about the other team, which is kind of weird to me. But he's gonna. I feel like gonna kind of send hints at Ben Johnson on Saturday, like, "Hey Ben, come down to Las Vegas." But I'm with you, Rio. I don't see no sign to go to Vegas. You know,
and like Jacksonville, like to go for that ownership, and we don't know if Trevor Lawrence is good right now.
Nah, facts. I was gonna say that was a little bit appealing because of Trevor Lawrence, but as you Shad Khan and like they're just so bad. And Trent Baalke's still there, right? They didn't
exactly.
Like they like it's I don't know, man. I'm glad we're out of that, bro.
Like the Patriots, that would have been one I was interested in, but the Patriots weren't really interviewing folks. They got their Rooney Rule interviews out the way, got Vrabel wrapped up immediately. So if you were a head coach, if you were a head coach candidate in this cycle, what would be the job you want? Can I interest you in Chicago? Anybody?
For sure. Yeah, you can interest me in Chicago. I'm not gonna lie. I don't have a disdain for Bears fans like they do. Like this is just a new rivalry, I guess, or a new hatred to, and they're the ones that started. No, yeah, like, but that's the thing though. Like they're the ones that started it. Like the week of our game, there was no Commanders fans going to Bears fans channels talking to. They literally started it because they're envious of Jayden Daniels and etc. So I'm interested. If I was a head coach, I would be interested in the Chicago job. I do think they got some pieces. Maybe re-sign Keenan Allen.
If they fire Poles, I would take that job. I wouldn't take it regularly.
You don't like Ryan Poles?
I think he sucks. I think they should. If like Caleb would have been much better off if they fired Poles and Eberflus going into the season. Like, I don't think Poles is good at all. I think every time he gets a mic in his face, he just doesn't. He doesn't present himself.
We're gonna get. What did he say? Hey, we're gonna take over the North and never give it back. Is what he told him, bro. And like, that's crazy.
They never met with Jayden once. That's crazy to me.
Yeah. At least we played our cards, right? Like at least, even though we knew we weren't going to get him, and they knew the consensus pick, we still interviewed Caleb, right? Or am I tripping?
Shout out Top Golf, man. We had like a whole mixer. We brought all our top 30 visits and had them all here, and that was a big ordeal. And now people are going to start jocking that shit.
I think the biggest indicator of polls is the man. You get a new QB, whatever. Caleb, like I'm not gonna act like Caleb was a bad pick. I think. Yeah, you should have interviewed some of the other guys, but whatever. They took Caleb. That's fine. But keeping Eberflus when you know you're bringing in a new coach is crazy because you can't have a coach already on the hot seat with the rookie QB. Yep. You should have brought in a new head coach with that QB, and then it's just way better because now it just puts him in a terrible situation.
Lame ducks is the stupidest thing. That's why organizational like dysfunction comes from situations like that. It's why I believe whatever quarterback the Giants draft is destined to fail because Brian Daboll and Joe Shane are going to get fired if they stink next year. They're gonna both get fired, and Shador or Cam Ward or whoever they draft is going to be getting a new GM, new coach, new everything in year 2. Here, learn how to speak another language when you just got to the league and learned one. Like,
yeah, that's crazy. I mean, and that's the thing about the Giants, though, too. I feel like Brian Daboll is a really good coach, at least offensively. And I think if he gets his quarterback, he will show what he did with Josh Allen there in Buffalo. He just hasn't had his guy. In the one season that they were successful with Daniel Jones, they went to the playoffs. So I think if anything, you fire. I mean, yeah, you fire probably both of them, but I feel like I'm gonna say it's easier to start over with a new GM than a head coach. But if I'm the Giants, I would have moved after that Saquon Barkley trade. Like, come on, like I still can't let that go. And you can tell John Mara is hurt over that. He is not letting that go, man.
And that wasn't even a trade. They just let him walk.
Free agency. Sorry, right? Free agency. My bad. Yeah, like that. It's crazy, man. But yeah, hey, look, Brian Daboll, if he gets fired, Cliff Kingsbury next year goes off to the head coach job. Hey, bring Brian Daboll in. I want to honestly promote from within, obviously, but I just little jokey out there or whatever. If we decide to go explore, hey, Brian Daboll wouldn't be a bad option.
All right, my boy Pedro got to roll out of here. Before you go, just give us your lasting impression and your early thoughts about this Detroit game before you get out.
Yeah, I mean, lasting impression, soak it all in. Like, this was a great A great game yesterday and a great moment. I mean, hopefully it happens again. You know, it's going to happen again. We got Jayden Daniels, but like, can't take these things for granted. I mean, it's been 19 years since it happened. So I would say just, yeah, you know, take it all in. And then, I mean, I was just watching Commanders content all night yesterday until I went to bed. I did that with all the games. Like, it started with the Bengals game. And I always say when people ask me what my favorite moment of the year was, it's not the Hail Mary. It's not whatever you want to say. For me, it was
the coming out party.
Yeah, it was the Terry throw. It was the throw, or sorry, the Jayden throw to Terry. Because, like, I think me, Rio, Juan, we knew Jayden was good. Because, I mean, at least I wanted Jayden from the beginning, besides Caleb, which I also wanted. Jayden was my guy. But for him to do that on, what was it, Monday Night Football?
Monday Night Football versus Joe Burrow.
Show the country that he is that guy. I mean, that was amazing. And for them to win that game, score whatever they scored, I mean, that was amazing. That was my favorite moment of the year. And yeah, that was great. And then in terms of the Lions game, it's going to be a shootout. But here's the thing. Their defense isn't amazing. They got a lot of injuries. Hutchinson, a bunch of guys are going to be out for this game that were contributors going into the game. So that in itself gives us a chance because this offense is good. So do I favor us? I don't know, but I think we have a chance because we got JD5 back there. The defense just has to make a couple plays. If they can force a turnover to make a big stop, maybe some fluke plays, the Commanders can win this game. I don't want any of this energy like, oh, let's just not get blown out. No, this is the second round of the playoffs. This team we have 13 wins on the year. Let's not do that stuff where like, oh, let's not get blown out. No,
we're in the Final Four for the NFC.
Yeah, let's win this damn game. Let's win this game. And I think we can. JD5 is our quarterback. And I think at the end of the day, if he has the ball in his hands, he can make some magic happen. But the other players do have to step up. Appreciate you having me on, Rio. Good to talk to you on too. And hope you all have a great week. And let's hope the Commanders get this win on Saturday night.
My guy. Peace. Man, I appreciate you. Make sure y'all sub up to Pedro Schmidt on YouTube. My guy Juan, I'm gonna get you out of here as well. Give me your lasting feeling for the week. What do you have to say to Washington Commanders Nation going into a divisional round matchup this week?
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm really just about to echo. Pedro said it all. I was fired up. I was ready to run through a wall for him, man. After that, like there's not a team that I fear. After that, the last time I felt nervous or we're going to lose, I didn't forget was the Cincinnati game, and I literally almost cried because I'm like, bro, we have a quarterback now, and since that game, I had no feeling that we could lose any of these games, bro. So that's what I say to you. Yeah, it's Detroit. Yeah, they're the number one seed. They're coming fresh off a bye week. But look, we're coming off of a thrilling win. Ain't like we just blew them out. We coming off of a last-second walk-off field goal win. We're taking that momentum into Detroit, and they're I'm not gonna say they're gonna feel like they're having a pushover game, but they gotta rep the engine back up. You know what I'm saying? You know, and we're coming in full head of steam, man. So I just tell you to have faith and believe that we can win. Because long as we got 5, we got a chance, man. Don't go into this game scurry. If anything, go into the game with the mindset that Dan Quinn had versus the Bucks. Aggressive. I'm gonna drag my nuts on your turf. That's what we got to go in with that mindset, man. That's all I say to you out there. If you're a little nervous about this game, man, go in with the faith that we can win because we can.
Because we damn sure can. Thank you, my guy, Juan Gotti. I'm looking forward to coming on your channel sometime this week. Thank you for blessing the program and keep repping that burgundy and gold hard. Keep your head up and keep going, my brother.
Thank you so much, Rio, and I look forward to chopping it up with you soon, bro.
My brother. Let's get to some of these super chats. And we can continue to talk about yesterday, and we can vaguely talk about our confidence level going into round 2 of the playoff. Bear it down and appreciate you for the $5 donation. Was so hyped last night I couldn't sleep. Bro, we streamed to 3 o'clock in the morning on this channel last night. We went to 3 a.m. last night. Big Will, $4.99 donation. I appreciate you. Our team is elite. From the owner to the GM to the coaching staff and the players. Thank you. Thank all of us. We deserve this shit as a fan base. We're sitting here right now with perfect harmony coming from the top to the middle to the bottom of the organization while we're watching franchises burn around us. We're watching turmoil, drama, dysfunction, and franchise failure throughout the league. And ours is in perfect symmetry from the ownership group to the front office to the coaching staff to the players. It all makes sense now. There is real synergy in the building, some shit that we prayed for a very long time. This is why you draft best player available. Your team, if it's devoid of talent, you need to add as many talented blue chip type players as possible. And sometimes it goes against need. Sometimes guys are so talented, you have to skip out on a need because this guy's going to be a difference maker. The team needs playmakers, y'all. The team needs playmakers, y'all. That boy 5, that's a difference maker, man. He looks different. I want to hear from my head coach. I want to hear what Dan Quinn was talking about. Let's get to some Tell the Truth Monday. How about that, y'all? Let's listen to some Tell the Truth Monday. I want to see what Dan Quinn is talking about the day after a playoff game.
So when you're on the sidelines, like, how does that manifest itself? What do you see? Action. So when you're on the sidelines, like, how does that manifest itself? What do you see? What do you hear? And how does that translate to the field?
The belief they have, John, for one another. I think that's where this
action. So when you're on the sidelines, like, how does that manifest itself? What do you see? What do you hear? And how does that translate to the field?
The belief they have, John, for one another. I think that's where this not just belief in yourself, but belief in the person that's next to you. I think that manifests itself into like this. It's not a 12th man, but there's tangible. You can feel it in these moments that the support is there for the next guy to make plays, whether it was OZ or Diami or Marshawn on a big 2nd and 1 stop. John, just different guys, and there's belief and they expect that person to make it, John. So that's how it manifests itself, where it's not just one player, but just knowing when counted on and called upon, those guys are ready to deliver.
This might be a silly question, but it's been a long time here since this franchise has had a quarterback like Jayden. Maybe now. When you have a quarterback like that, obviously we can see the stats and the tangible results, but what kind of lift, energy does a quarterback like that provide a franchise?
It's a lot, honestly, because Jayden has such poise in these winning time moments, John, and that is contagious as well. I was thinking of we were talking earlier with one of the coaches. He has such poise.
We could definitely work some out.
One of my friends that I coached with in the 90s at Hofstra was Jay Wright, and it made me think of the championship game of Villanova and UNC. And if you watch, there's a clip of Jay right before the 3-point shot goes off. He says, bang, turns and walks, to shake one of the guy's hands. And Jayden has poise in
all
these
black
moments where he
t-shirt,
doesn't
nothing else. This closet full
go
of
wild after or lose his cool. He just has real poise in that spots, and it's the same whether it went well or didn't. And that's really hard to do. And so having poise in those moments, John, that's a really big thing, because the other players see it and feel it, and they have it in those moments as well. We practice it a lot, but it looks like we practice these moments a lot. And Jayden in those spaces, he is just very much bang onto the next one and going. And that's a really cool quality to have.
Thank you. Nikki?
They love that boy so much.
Dan, what do you make of the job Zane Gonzalez has done since coming in here and stepping up at a time of injury and just his play overall?
Yeah, and it was great to see early on, Nick. I think it might have been a 53-yarder. I thought he hit it well, and he's really been doing that in practice as well, where he was hitting it good to go. So for him to be able to step up and deliver, and then also, a game winner at the end, that's a big deal for us. He's kicking off well. He's playing it strong. So, yeah, he's off to, on both sides, whether it's the kickoffs, because we have the most kicks in the league that are returned, and that's by design. And so that's also a big part of what he does. And so you don't want to leave it too early, Nikki, on some of these kickoffs. You want it right in that spot where it's, the person has a chance to go. And that's a difficult thing to do from that far away. So I thought that's another part of the game that maybe doesn't show up all the way.
Somebody needs to ask him about the kicker fixing his hair, because that shit aggravates the soul out of me.
Two injury-ish related questions. How did Zach Ertz come out of the game physically? And where's Marshawn at just with his hamstring, does he have the lateral quickness, the speed, everything he wants?
This is
to do on
currently
the field?
great,
Is he
but
able
my
to do
favorite
all
one
of
is
that?
Kiwi Strawberry, the
It sure
green
looks like
one.
that to me in terms of like the competitiveness, the strength. We're still honestly working back all the way
Strawberry
into it. So
lemonade
there's
like
an
that
element
too.
of that just from like doing the right thing to make sure we don't overload it into that spot. So it's a fine line to do that, but certainly like all he brings to us as a competitor, that's such a big deal for us, Nikki. And then I think you said to Zach. So yeah,
Big OCD.
a couple of guys sore. We'll get bigger stuff into that one. The one that may be knocked out for this week will be Jordan McGee. So he re-injured his hamstring. So that'd be the one that's the biggest setback for us heading into this week.
Ben?
Hey, Dan, just to stay on Marshawn, it looked like it's, at one point you guys changed the plan with him where he wasn't traveling with Evans and he was out for a few plays there for a stretch. What was the thought with how you guys were using him during the game?
We had
Hey, shout out
I just want to make sure we weren't
overloading
overloading into the amount of rep spend. So that was by design going into the game. So, we kind of had I'd say a sort of a pitch count in mind. Not all reps are created equal for a cornerback. Think of a downfield throw compared to a run that comes to you. It's, not the same stressors. And there was times where we'd match, sometimes where we wouldn't, but that was
we play the Lions. Game's already
not
set.
Every play does a
number one
travel,
seed plays the lowest seed in the playoffs. We're the lowest seed in the playoffs,
that's a
regardless.
very difficult position, and the game is called more towards the offense and the defense. But when you look at the box score, Mike Evans had the game that he had. How do you kind of assess that, knowing the challenge that's presented?
Propel is God's elixir.
Production looks like from the box score perspective going in the favor of the offense there.
Yeah, I would say for us, it's about winning. That's the name of the game. And so we love what Marshawn brings to us. We don't look at the game as one box score or one player. We look at it as a collective. And like I said, there was other plays that, wouldn't show up to make a tackle to hold them to a field goal at the end. Those are important moments for us as well. So, and give, Tampa and Mike their credit too. Like they've been excellent this entire season. So I don't want to shortchange that as well.
Sam?
What's it do for the offense and the sideline when you guys are able to connect downfield passes, especially early in the game?
The explosive plays are a big deal. Run game, passing game. If we can do that, and I thought we did a good job yesterday of not setting ourselves back onto some second downs, whether it was sacks or penalties, ones that can make it difficult to go. So when you have these explosives and they can flip the field like they do, there's an energy that goes with that, but also our scoring chances, go up quite a bit, Sam. So it's a big part of what we do. And I love the connection that we have. There were some really, rock solid, strong. We thought Diami had some good ones. Terry had some, but just running through the catch, ripping the ball. This is a tough team to protect against based on the rush and the blitz package. So I know the guys had worked hard leading into the week of that.
Most emotional you've seen Jayden this year?
What was?
Yeah. Is there a specific time that stands out?
Probably when Marcus threw the game-winning touchdown pass in Dallas. Like, he was the most emotional in these other moments where he's the one in charge. Like, he's iced up, man. Like he ain't letting you into that. Like, inside the lens of that helmet, like, he's a killer. So the most emotional I've seen him is his joy for Marcus into that spot, to let that emotion and happiness out for a guy that means a lot to him.
Thank you.
David Aldridge?
Hey, Dan. Obviously, the running game was not as productive as you would like.
Correct.
How much of that was offset a little bit by the fact that you went to Austin and B-Rob a lot out of the backfield, and you kind of got short passes that had the same effect really as runs?
Yeah, that's the key, Dave. We thought if we could get over 50 in completions and runs, that would be the thing. We were going to work hard at time of possession where they couldn't play keep away from us. And so some of that had some fourth downs to go for it as well. Could we be, bold enough in those spots to extend the drives to go? But you're right. In this game, it was going to be about space, and could we get the ball out in space to, try to make some plays that way because of the zones and the zone pressure. So when it's more man-to-man, you don't do that as often just because they're matched more quickly. So we thought that would have been one of the ways we try to go attack. They played some man-to-man as well, but it's a tough defense to go against. But we thought that would be our best way to get completions and to make sure we're getting the ball in play. That was kind of the phrase that we were, not the sacks or the negative plays, get the ball to the guys and get it in play.
You guys have trusted Coleman for a while now at left tackle. I just wonder how you think he held up in his first playoff game.
You know, it was good to see also, he said this was a game that was going to be about toughness. And he and some of the other guys, David, I thought really stood in that gap. You know, shoulder got banged up to go again. Deron Payne had a bad finger injury, you know, back in, stitched in to go. Zach and some others. I just thought it was a pure example of like a Warriors effort. It really was, David, to make sure they were going to stay in the fight all the way through. And there's also a piece of that connection that I was talking about earlier that goes with that they did not want to be out of the fight, knowing how important this was to everybody. And I think Brandon has a great example right next to him in Allegretti. Like, he's the veteran presence that's talking to him. Come on, you'll be all right. Just kind of pulling him through. And that's what good teammates do. And it's nice to have a mentor like that, you know, just a foot away from you on every snap.
Hey, Pete.
Hey, Dan, just kind of specific to what you said earlier about not worrying about the box score necessarily, worrying about the win. Do you view that run game kind of through the same prism that YPC isn't the driver necessarily, and it's the entirety of it?
I do. I look at a lot. Turnover margins, my number one that I look at, like number one, top of the pile. I also look at the tackling and broke tackle margins, because a lot of explosives, JP, come off of those, whether we're creating them offensively or even on the return game. I think JC may have had, 3, tackles broken on a 17-yard return. So those all factor in to go. I'm not oblivious to the stats. Obviously, I want it to be, strong and solid in every space. I thought that we played better, especially in the first half in the run game, JP. In our game, Baker had a long scramble on one. Irving is a significant problem. The way he can change direction, he can get outside. So I thought we took a step forward, certainly in the first half defensively in the run game. But no, I don't minimize it, but I do place certain things above others, and explosive plays, turnover margin, tackling and breaking tackles. To me, those are at the top of my pile.
And then with that, obviously that game was getting really close down the stretch, and you and Joe, you guys all talk turnovers all the time. Ball is life. Was there any sort of added emphasis as the game continued? Did you say anything on the sideline? It almost seemed like predestined for Bobby to get that fumble somehow. Yeah, we
the gods
definitely put it into the atmosphere, and we do that all the time, though. They did a good job of taking care of it too. We thought we'd have some chances to put it on the ground, and see if we could get a few. We thought maybe we'd have a chance at an interception earlier. Mike thought he might have had a shot at one in the first quarter, but you got to take advantage of those when they come. And I thought we did a really good job offensively also of taking care of the ball. But it is the one thing we talk about almost on a regular basis, JP, that controls the future, that turnover margin. And we really work hard at that.
Thanks.
Hi, Dan. This was the 5th straight game that your team won on the final play of the game. That's almost unheard of. Have you ever experienced something like that? And what is that like from your perspective on the sidelines to see your players rise to the occasion time and time again?
It's you can feel their instant connection, Scott. That's honestly what I feel in these moments where at the end they do have belief in one another, and that's one of the coolest parts of it. Whether it was a defensive stop, an offensive stop, defensive stop, an offensive score, or a field goal that takes place. All of those are really cool memories. We don't look back a lot, honestly, just because we don't want to miss what's next and what's coming up. But it is really cool to know that in these spots, they're comfortable, and they've been in a lot of them. So there's a real belief that goes with being in that spot.
And with your decision making and learning to trust yourself to make the decision to go for it on fourth down. Can you kind of describe the evolution of that, of when you started to begin to kind of trust your instincts, trust your gut, and trust your players to, hey, you know what? Let's go for it.
Yeah, way more player related. And so one of the reasons we're exceptional on fourth down is the poise that we were just speaking of, starting with 5 and going through the offense, through Cliff and all of the guys. But we're not going to be reckless, Scott, but when there's a chance and a moment for us to capture it and to be bold, we're not going to look back. We want, to carry no into the, I wish we had tried this into the next week. I wish we had gone for it. We're going to be bold when we have our moments to do so. Not to say we'll be reckless, but we really have a lot of faith in what we do, and we've practiced it a lot. So it does give us a lot of faith and confidence when those moments come up.
Thanks, Dan.
You're welcome.
Andy?
Hey, Coach. So to pull on that thread a little bit about being bold versus reckless, how do you kind of evaluate in the moment or even in preparation of what's considered bold and what's considered reckless for you all?
Yes. We do that well before we even start, honestly, Candy, as we're going through it. And so as the series starts, each particular drive, not just the series, every first down, is this a chance where we would go on a certain fourth? So you may hear, if you were on the sideline, you might hear me say, hey, we're going to go at 2, we're going to kick it at 3. Or, we're going to, we're a field goal at 1, we go it short, or this is all the way at punt. So I try to communicate what we would do well before it ever comes up. It does change though, Candy, depending on time, score of the game, field position, all of those. So it's not one size fits all.
Same, Hannah.
But we do discuss it all the way through. And we practice even as we go through the week's practice. This is a third down to fourth down sequence, and we kind of work at it in that way.
And when you took a look back at the film, what did you see from your defensive line last night?
What we saw that we liked, I really felt they were really playing physical in the run game. And knowing that was going to be the case, it was one of the things that going into the game, I said, this is, a significant run play pass team that's able to, sustain really long drives with that. So to see these guys tackle well, Candy, I thought that was a really big step. We thought our inside guys would have to play well in this game. I think we may have talked about that on both sides of the line. And I thought the interior part of our guys, we really, leaned in on them, and they really delivered on that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Donna?
That's a joy listening
Hi,
to
Coach.
DQ. Ron was
Coach,
such a
since
fucking
this team
pain.
seems to like to be in these heavyweight boxing matches all the time, if you were to pick a great boxer of all time that resembles this team, who would it be and why?
Roberto Duran.
That is a good one.
We scrappy
We
as shit.
certainly go the distance a lot. So it's not a knockout artist, that's for sure. But I would say this team has one of my favorite fighters, coming up through the 80s was Marvelous Marvin Hagler, and had to go through some trials, lost in his first, ops at big ones to go, and stood toe to toe with everybody and tucked his chin and kept on swinging. So I would say, because we've been through some of the ups and downs, he would be one that was absolutely that kind of toughness. So it's a great question. And that's the first name that popped into my head, other than Ken Norton, because I just thought got to show some love to his father. So those would be the two that came to mind.
You definitely have to call out that name.
Yes,
sure.
100%.
And this team really stood up in some of the most critical moments.
DQ
everything.
cool
But
as
when
shit,
you look
man.
at anything within this game, did something stand out even more in this game that you liked about it?
I loved in the second quarter, we had a really long drive on offense. And it was maybe 16 or 17 plays, came back, had to have them go punt to go. And so that was what I'd hope we would see in this game, where there could be spots to not allow Tampa to control the clock. They've been excellent at that. And so when you have those kind of drives, we did extend them. That was a big deal for us. Then the other one, I would say 4:40 left in the game. And so not to give the ball back 4 minutes is something that we spent a lot of time on, because although it was a tie game, it was once you get into field goal range, it really turned into last possession. So to see the guys deliver, I thought, what a big play by Austin. I think there was actually right at the 2-minute mark on the pass that kind of put us into field goal range. And then the 3rd and 2 that Jayden converted with his legs to be able to use up more clock. That was a big deal. And so I think those would be the two that come to mind, Donna. We knew we had to have some extended drives, so we couldn't allow them to have all the time of possession. And then the finishing mindset with 4.5 minutes to go, to not give it back to them with that defense, that's a really big deal.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Wano?
Dan, what do you make of the challenge that the Lions possess, and how much does the short week kind of affect your preparation for facing a team like that?
Well, we'll start from the backwards part of it. As far as the preparation goes, Steve, we're okay on that. We have a real process we go through. So tomorrow for the players would be like a Wednesday for us. So it's a short game, Monday games, Sunday games. We're all pretty equipped of how to adjust the schedule for that. So that part, it's a process that we'd like to go through. So we won't back off of that, not one bit. As far as the challenges that go, quite a bit. Just in terms of the way they play, the style, the attitude, they're a high flying, and scoring offense, but they're also in the run game, one of the very best at that. So they've generated a lot of explosive plays this year. And that alone, we had just talked about that, of being able to work the ball down the field. That's difficult. And so a lot of challenges, whether it's speed and ability at wide receiver, the running back tandem, the quarterback who can rip it, an excellent O-line. Defense plays a lot of man-to-man that plays aggressive. So we'll definitely have our work cut out for us. We're just, beginning the whole process of it now, Stephen, so we don't have it all the way through. But as far as the process goes to get ready, we're comfortable, early, late, however we got to get down.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
All right, you guys have a good one. See you tomorrow.
And that is Tell the Truth Monday from our fearless leader, Dan Quinn. And boy, is it a joy to actually listen to a straight shooter head coach and not a fucking politician who's always trying to win the press conference. Like, DQ is just a human, man. All right, let's go to my boy before we get up out of here. Let's go to my boy Brandon, who's like your one-stop shop for everything Commanders on Twitter. Let's go to his page and let's look at some of these clips. So clip number 1, Dan Quinn talking to Jayden Daniels mic'd up in the post game. Talk about a dog. I love you, bro. Let's see. This is our life now, guys. This is our life now, guys. Look at this love, man. Beautiful. Beautiful. Let's see what else has got going on. Let's see what else we got going on the squad. How cool is it that Jayden, these are really his best friends, Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr., the 2 rookie receivers that went nuts in their rookie campaign. They know they wish they could be here, by the way. They were sitting in Gen Pop. They were sitting in general population, sitting amongst all the common folk in the crowd, rooting on their guy, Jayden Daniels. Christian McCaffrey was in the building as a spectator, considering that most of his season he was injured and the Niners aren't in the playoffs. Oh man, good times, man. Hey, look what DQ said to Cliff after the game. He said, "Stay here, kid. Stay here, kid." That's what I'm talking about, DQ. Keep the family close. Keep the family close. Look at our fan base at Raymond James. Yeah. Yo, Cody Barton's nice now, for real. This is crazy, man. Oh, man, I've waited forever for this, man. This is so great. It's so grand, man. We care so much about this football team. Look at us go. Look at us go. Yo, look at that. I told you they charging rent for these Detroit, Washington game tickets. Look at this shit. Lower level, 1,600. Like, God damn. Y'all want my rent money to come watch a football game? Now I'm gonna watch it with my community on the U of Tube for free 99 and eat whatever I'd like to during the process of doing so. Because those look at Neighbors. Divisional rival Malik Neighbors. Throw them fives up. Yeah. Division rival Malik Neighbors is there showing up for his boy. Love that, man. Your World Series tickets were 3.3K and they weren't even lower level. I'm not even going to hold you. When it comes to championship games, I'm not mad at folks for that. $1,600 for the divisional round is a little nuts, though. $1,600 for the divisional round. I'll stay my broke ass smooth at home. Let's look at the locker room, guys.
That's belief, man. Our time. Our time. All right, you guys are bad motherfuckers. All right, and we said it was going to be about the ball tonight, so we got one more for you. On Saturday, 3 words came up. Belief, brotherhood, and BU. For damn sure we lived all 3 of them. Yeah. So let's take our show on the road again. Sir. Now you want to say something? Yep. All right.
You know what that makes me feel like? Culture. It's crazy that it don't take 3 to 5 years to build one, right? 3 to 5 years to build a culture. No, you can build the culture right away. And apparently, if you get the right guys in the building and people buy into the game plan, you can get right to contending in year 1, man. You know, she definitely gets a lifetime pass for me. Also, she didn't necessarily pick against us, you know, and even if she did, she's allowed to do that and still like us, you know. It's so nice to have a good neighbors. That is legit friendship, bro. They out there sitting with the common folk in the crowd. They not in no box, no suite, no player section or nothing. They was just chilling, man. Cliff was at USC with Caleb. The Bears job might interest him. He better know how good he has it here and wait for the perfect opportunity to open up. The McCaskey's ownership fucking stinks. Ryan Poles is a fucking doofus. And you got to coach a lot of bad habits out of Caleb, bro. You better wait till a perfect job opens up. And I don't think that's it, man. That's a cursed franchise, bro. Wait for a perfect job. You deserve better than Chicago, Cliff. I would hate to see that. What would you give for a Commanders to win a Super Bowl? Something crazy. A lot of things. A lot of things, you know. The horrible thing. I would do a lot to see it, but I have a feeling in the next half a decade, we're going to get our chance to be in those type of conversations because we have the most important things checked off. We have a stable ownership group. We have a fucking amazing general manager. We have a good coaching staff. And Lord Jesus, we have a franchise quarterback. We have a franchise quarterback of the utmost, with the utmost superpowers, man. And he's he's already top 3 clutch in the league, man. I bet most of them live in Florida. I'm telling y'all, up here in New York, MetLife Stadium, we make up about 35 to 40%. Even during Dan Snyder year, shit, I live in Virginia too. There's a lot of our fans up here. What up, Sheen? What's going on, Sheen? Happy Victory Monday, where we are hailing victory for the 13th time in the 2024-2025 off season. It's Monday, January 13th, and 5 days from now, Washington's going to be taking our show up to Motown, Ford Field, to play the 15-2 number 1 seed Detroit Lions. Jayden Daniels is the talk of the town, the talk of the league, and there's still one more game to be played on the NFC side this weekend. We need to find out who the Philadelphia Eagles are playing on Sunday. I think the Rams are going to win. What about y'all? How do y'all feel about the Minnesota-LA game? I think the Rams are going to beat them. What you don't know, Rio, bro is called ball at LSU. And if you were once a ball, you are a ball for life. They stick together like glue. A ball in Baton Rouge and LSU. I love that. I love that, man. Don't let Brian Thomas Jr. or Malik Neighbors weasel their way out of their shitty situations, because they're very shitty, Jacksonville and New York, because when it comes time, especially Brian Thomas Jr., because he's in a different conference. Brian Thomas Jr. ever went out of Jacksonville, woo boy, you know them boys are trying to play with their guy, you know? Drop a like. Yeah, smash that like button and subscribe. You know, thank you, JTF, and thank you to all that are watching. We still got 742 in the chat. If y'all can smash that like button for your boy. As you can see this season, I've been experimenting with longer live streams. You know, it's more interactive. We're just kicking it on a Monday evening, afternoon, whatever you want to call it. It's been fun. It's been fun doing it because we're gearing up for the off season. There's going to be a lot of days we're just going to sit here for a few hours and talk, because we got to count down the days until we're back in football. So, you know, whenever the season does come to a halt, it doesn't stop over here on the channel. We're going to get our way through the rest of the playoffs, the Super Bowl, the Senior Bowl, the Pro Bowl, free agency, the draft, mini camp, rookie mini camp, all of that shit. We're going to, we're not going to pump the brakes. We're not going to slow down on the content at all. We might pour it on heavier, because Lord knows off seasons get very long if you don't have anything, man. Why is there two different color balls? One was super dark, right? The Giants are really trading for Neighbors, and we are deadly. We had so much fun with Louis T last night at the watch party here in Richmond. Hey, I'm glad y'all have fun. I know Lou was turned. That boy was drinking all the alcohol in that building, wasn't it, man? Culture isn't built in a petri dish. Ooh, put that on a shirt and make it burgundy and gold. And I'm wearing that shit. Neighbors to JD. Get me out of New York, man. Hey, they're both in shit situations, so they ever get their way out of there. Whoa. Send Rivera to Russia in another Brittany Griner type trade. Hey, Ron Rivera might get him a job. He interviewed for the Jets and the Bears job. My boy Riverboat might be back in the building. Brian Robinson Jr. has lost something in 2022. The line was arguably worse, but he still produced and track defenders. I mean, it's constant lower body, lower extremity injuries. He's losing his morale, all type of shit, man. Louis, that's my guy. We will be doing our Commanders King stream tomorrow, Tuesday night. I'm the only one that heard Gonzalez call off the glass. I ain't hear that shit. I ain't hear it. If not this season, definitely no. We coming, y'all, at some point. A Ravens Commanders Super Bowl, Lamar versus Jayden, that would set the world on fire right there. No, you know what would set the world on fire? A Philadelphia Washington NFC Championship. Y'all see how toxic it is between us and that insecure ass Philly fan base. Now, could you imagine that the week leading up to it in these content circles with the Super Bowl ticket on the line? I don't think the world might get Thanos snapped after that, because we would break the internet, we'd break YouTube, and we'd break fandom, because it would be a war. It would be a whole ass Avengers style war if we actually played there. Do you think we need to move on from Anthony Lynn with how our run game's been going? No, I don't, because I don't think you can make run game happen with guys that are limited. I don't think Brian Robinson's a starting running back. I've said this for a while. I've got hate for it. I think he's a solid complementary back. We're missing an RB1. That's the thing. There's a lot. I don't think any coaches on this team need to be dismissed, because we are thriving in spite of holes all over this roster. I think we could use a younger, more dynamic tight end one. I think we could use an actual RB1. I think we could use a real complimentary wide receiver 2 and another wide receiver to add to the room. I think we're about 2 offensive linemen short. We're missing all these things, yet we're a top 5 offense. Nah, everybody's cool, man. Everybody in the coaching staff is good here. Actual culture, absolutely. All caps culture. One day would be crazy, man. The DMV would go nuts, man. A lot of the fans yesterday flew down from the DMV. This is a huge fan base in Florida. Yeah, I know a bunch of people that went to the game. My timeline was loaded. Rams by 10 plus. I called a doink game winner for us, but I thought it would go off the front of the. That shit was crazy, though. I don't know why. I see the Sam Darnold Linsanity run coming to a halt, and that makes me think, like, should DQ get the coach of the year if they go out in the first round? I mean, I know it's regular season awards, man. I want to see the Rams win because they could beat the Eagles. Also want to see Curl and Forbes do well. Forbes got to get on the field for that to happen. It would be nice to see Forbes get some clock, you know. Cliff was a head coach 2 freaking years ago. They know what he brings. The players rushed a lot all over him. He's not as coveted as people think. Only bad, impulsive owners make that move. I think Cliff could be a head coach again. I think he'll be a fine one in a better situation, but I think his skill set is best to be a play caller or college coach. NFL head coach, he can do it, but Cliff, just call offense. You don't have to worry about any of it. You're getting paid handsomely by 2 organizations. Stick here, bro. Like he said, it's going to be hard to leave. It's going to be hard to leave that guy. We're just kicking it with the homie. You know, we're chilling. If I had to just describe this season in one word, what would it be? That's a good one. One word to describe this season: euphoric. Euphoric. That's how I would describe it, because this season has been the season I've dreamt about my entire life, because nothing feels far-fetched. Nothing feels fluke about it. It all just feels like, look at this, bro. Deron Payne shares an x-ray of his dislocated finger. Good God. That bone is completely displaced. My goodness. But euphoric, though. They've done... I've dreamt about a season like that. We won a playoff game. We won 12 games. We checked off the biggest hole that we've had my whole life. Franchise quarterback. We've hit on like 7 free agents in one off season. We've seen a good amount from at least some of the draft picks. You know, we also got a 2nd and a 3rd round pick that we just let not produce for a whole season, but that's okay, because Jayden is that special that we just kept it pushing. You know, we've battled through adversity, and we've learned how to survive stupid Washington moments throughout games. It's beautiful. The camaraderie, the brotherhood, the culture, seeing it all come together. These motherfuckers about to get the DC Superdome. Like, this is fantastic. This is fantastic. They've actually made Northwest Stadium home field advantage. They're doing light shows and shit at the stadium now. This is fun. This is what I dreamt of what fandom felt like. I watch people all the time enjoy their teams, enjoy their fandom. And I've always wanted that for myself. It feels good. It also is like liking this team through all the bad years. It's developed character, you know? I don't know if you noticed, Burrow and Chase were balls at LSU too. That's how you build. The Burrow is stuck in Cincy with a shitty owner and defense. Hey, I would love to bring LSU Tiger tight end. What's his name? Was it Mason Henry? What is his name? What is the tight end for the LSU's name? Bring him, because Kyron Lacy's off every draft board. Kyron Lacy may not see freedom again. What's the tight end's name for LSU? Henry, right? Mason Taylor. I said Henry. Mason Taylor. The tight end, 85 for LSU. Bring him. Bring him on day 3. Bring me the tight end for LSU. I can use him. Mason Taylor. I don't know why I said Mason Henry. Mason Taylor. Thank you. Bring his ass. Bring him. If they beat Detroit, it's destiny. The thing is, we're not getting smoked. Nobody's smoking 5 in any type of game, man. Any type of game. I am confident that we are not going to go embarrass the family on Saturday. But I'm also not going into it saying shit like, you know, as long as we don't get smoked, I'm good with it, man. As long as we don't go up there and no. We have a shot. We have a shot, damn it. The NFC meeting series. Oh, the Jones, the Scooter. You talking about the Scooter Magruder dude? Yeah, man. Rejuvenating. That's a good one as well. I wish we got one of these at home because the atmosphere, oh my God, it would be going crazy, man. Next year, baby. Hopefully next year. Next year, we're going to see. We're going to see. Let's go, Rio. We bring our nuts to the Lions' tonsils. To Lions' tonsils. This is so fun, man. Damn, man. Kyron Lacey. Come on, man. I never felt Big Simp. What up, Simple? Make sure y'all sub up to Big Simple, by the way. He said, I ain't never felt nothing like this, bro. Keep doing your thing. But getting a franchise quarterback feels so good. But we know no other team is going to find a quarterback like JD5. You know, every few years there comes a guy into the league that's just different than everybody else, man. Baller, man. Yeah, Mason definitely might go on day 2. Shit, I'd take him on the 3rd. I take him in. I would. We need a young tight, a dynamic tight end on the roster, man, and let Ben Sinnott fall into the role of John Bates, and John Bates can go find greener pastures. Lacey fast and up with bad hands. Well, bad hands and some more. Lacey may not see the light of day. Like he is about to be in trouble. So he's off everybody's draft board. He's off everybody's draft board. Jason Taylor's dad. Is it? No, I don't think Jason Taylor's his father. Is Jason Taylor Mason Taylor's dad, or am I tripping? If he is, I didn't know that. If he is, I didn't know that. NFL guys with sons that go play tight end for LSU, I'd take them off my board after Thaddeus Moss. If it wasn't for us, I'd be rooting for Detroit. Yep, because I like Detroit. Detroit is fun, and they've never been to a Super Bowl before, so they're the easiest underdog to ever root for until Washington shows up on the schedule. Then it's like how can a random fan of a team not to play? How can y'all not want Washington to go up there and play Detroit well on Saturday, man? We've played Detroit 3 times in the playoffs in history and won every time, correct? I can only attest to one of them. I was 8 years old in 99 when Big Country Stephen Davis was running all over the Lions at FedEx Field. I can attest to that playoff game. Don't know much more. I wasn't around, really. I wasn't really kicking when we played the other ones. It goes Terry and Magic.
Yes, sir. Oh, no.
We got Magic fucking Johnson in the building, man. Look at this shit, man. Y'all ain't got Magic Johnson in your ownership group. Pulling up with the hoodie on. Y'all don't have that. We do. We do. How can you hate on this? How can you hate on this? What's hateable about this? Somebody definitely got to make a graphic of Daniels in the Lion Den. Let me get my thumbnail guy on it right now. Let me hit my boy Cam up right now.
Yes, sir. Oh, no.
Let me hit my graphic guy, my boy Cameron Wallace right now. Jayden in the Lions Den. Say less. Say less. Have him in that joint looking like a gladiator, looking like Maximus Decimus in that motherfucker.
Oh, no.
Yep, he going way earlier, though. Recalibration. Get Scooter on your stream. Dallas versus Washington personality. That shit would be funny as shit. That shit would be fire. I'm pulling guests out in the offseason. Oh, Jason Taylor is his dad? I didn't know that. I did not know that shit. I thought that dude was just white. I did not know that was his father. What is Jason Taylor's nationality, by the way? Is he white and just tan? What is he? I thought Mason Taylor was white. I'm not going to hold you. Rio, I partied until 5 a.m. Pacific time. Oh my God. I know you're hurting right now. I know you're hurting like shit right now. I love Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren going early. Early.
Oh no!
This shit had me wilding last night. Y'all got to chill on Magic, man. They said keep Magic away from Jayden's open cut. I said, oh my God, y'all stop it, man. That shit had me dying laughing last night. Had my boys on stream till like 3 a.m. Look at this Bucks fan, guys. Mark my words. The Bucks will beat the Commanders 31-17, and Jayden Daniels' cute little rookie season will come to an end. I hope they lit his ass up. I hope people lit his ass up in the quotes. Let's see. Let's see if people gave him hell. I wrote the W to him. These motherfuckers ain't stopping me. Yo, who be making these pictures, bro? They got Jayden on Bart Simpson. Bucks fan said that shit with his whole chest. So what is Joy Taylor to Mason Taylor? His aunt? His aunt? Ollie Gordon Jr. I like. Jason Taylor's half white, half black. Thank you for that. Sun looks super white. But let's look at how we ethered this Bucks Capital page. Everybody. Everybody on his head top. I'm just checking on you. Are you okay? I need an update. How'd that turn out? Age like milk. This guy. Mark my words. They got Floyd throwing L's at him. I love when our fan base unites with hatred. I love when we unite for some petty shit and for hatred, man. I love it here. I love it here, man. This has been such a fun season. This has been such a fun season, man. Holy shit. Shout out Joy Taylor, by the way. Mason Taylor, daddy is Jason, and his uncle is Zach Thomas. Joy Taylor is his auntie. Good genes, man. Already better than Thaddeus Moss. But had a good time with y'all. It's Victory Monday. We about to wrap this thing up right quick. What up, the Bears TV? Y'all winning the Super Bowl if the Texans beat they got that's a task. Going up to Arrowhead is a little bit different, but smash that like button for rocking with your boy, man. Smash that like. You ever been in a fight when you were younger and seen your own blood? That was the look JD had last night, just blacked out. Hell yeah. Seeing your own blood it reminds me of dodgeball when Ben Stiller said, "How dare you make me bleed my own blood?" Harold Fannin is a dog. He is an absolute dog. I've always been a Baker fan. I like him too. I'm surprised they only let him throw it 18 times yesterday. We knew the Bills when they found out about Josh Allen. We're the new Bills when they found out about it. But the difference is Josh Allen was a science fair experiment his rookie year. His rookie year, he was mostly finding success running the ball. He did not have much success passing the ball because coming out of Wyoming, he was that ultimate catch-22 quarterback where his good looks out of this world and otherworldly, and his bad looked like, why the fuck is this guy in the NFL? Because this was Josh Allen's stats year one. 2,074 yards through the air, 10 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, but he was balling running the ball. He got to the shits going forward in year two. But none of the top quarterbacks in the league was doing this shit as a rookie. Are you not entertained? Exactly. Yo, Jason Whitlock, he need to sit that shit out, man. I know what I'm capable of. No, shut up. Shut up, Jason Whitlock. Like, Jason Whitlock is such a loser. You turn into a different type of competitor. Josh Allen was. That's because people rule out quarterbacks too quick, you know? If someone, like, we got to give guys a little bit of time, but you know it when you know a bust when you see one. Josh Allen made enough wow plays, even when the touchdown interception ratio was wonky, to see that there was clearly an immense talent there. Jason Taylor was even the D-line coach when it. Y'all remember when Jason Taylor played for the Redskins and wasted some of our money? Good times, man. Good time. Battle of the Dans. It's gonna be a sack. It's gonna be a sack off in Detroit. Who's got a bigger sack on Sunday? Nobody. There might not be 1 4th down where they punt the ball next week. Shit is crazy, man. Finally home. Glad that you made it back, man. Glad that you made it back. The Dan Bowl in Detroit. We in Motown City. Jason Whitlock's the biggest hater. Fuck Jason Whitlock. Like, he's one of those people. Like, I would, if I saw him in person, I would definitely tell him about himself. Watch party tonight, maybe. We about to wrap this one up right now, so maybe we can talk about it. I ain't doing shit tonight, so we might be right back here. What time's the game? 8:15. Let me go get some food. Holla at my children, and y'all should see me back in a couple hours for a watch party or something, man. How about that, man? Thank y'all for rocking with your boy. Thank y'all for rocking with your boy on a Monday afternoon. Smash that like button on the way out. It is divisional week on the channel. I'm going to have Lake Lewis on the channel tomorrow morning. I'm going to have Lake Lewis on the channel to be talking about the Buffalo game and to start to open the window for the Lions game, man. Let's go. Hey, no, we don't. Don't be telling these people that shit, man. Don't be telling these people that shit to Bears TV. Oh, man, y'all beat us after you threw my safety out the game and no QB. We beat y'all with JD5. Niggas still on here crying. Man, we're in the second round of the playoff. Tell your bitch-ass quarterback to throw for more than 131 yards on this side. Sorry-ass Jalen Hurts. But we're going to wrap this one up. We out of here, baby. 13th victory Monday of the season. My quarterback is a superstar. He's the best rookie quarterback you've ever seen, the best quarterback in the division, and the best quarterback in the NFC. Debate your mothers. That's all I got for right now. Hail to the Washington Commanders. Until next time.